contrary to a lot of other cast members, for me, I'd never seen a show. That's the first time I've ever witnessed like PTSD. Bro, I was so like...
I gotta go back to them and say, man, I quit. You know what I mean? That was embarrassing. Because we're trying to get you to a point where you feel like you might die.
What?
Yep. And from what I recall of my childhood, it was not the best. I hated her.
You know who I am?
Man, hell no, who's a scam? I was like, I don't trust you.
Somebody hit my hat off. I said, oh, these motherfuckers is trying.
They don't feed you. They don't give you no water. They want you to be broken down.
Put that damn mask over your face.
Yeah, you're a fraud, man. If something goes wrong, you may get one of my friends shot.
Don't bring that shit to Cam.
You want me to act it out?
I don't act. This shit ain't acting.
We were peeing on ourselves just to stay warm.
If somebody says, all right, Cam, describe a Navy SEAL. White, tattoos, badass, drives a Harley Davidson. How many of them are niggas, though? Hey, you! Come here real quick. Come in closer. Closer. Hey. Hit that subscribe button. Back to the show. Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton and son, Mr. Boogity all here with another episode of Funky Friday, and I promise, I really do promise, give good content for the masses, but most of all, ladies and gentlemen, I promise to keep it funky for your asses. Now, this particular individual, I would like to say it's kind of triggering to see him because last time I saw him, I was traumatized. You know what I'm saying? I got an opportunity to do this show, Special Forces on Fox, and I was introduced to him. He stuck out like a sore thumb because he was the only black guy there. And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, yo, like, what I'm witnessing now, and even off camera, wasn't the same person that I saw on camera. Like, we've built rapport, you know, been going back and forth with messages over the last couple of months, trying to get him on my platform because we have so much to cover. But without no delay, former Navy SEAL, I present to some and introduce to others, Jovon Quarles, or as we call him, DSQ.
Thanks for having me, brother. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Golly, I don't even know where to start, bro, because like, first off, for the people who saw Special Forces, how real was it or is it to try to get through to the contestants?
We try to, you know, make the course, and we create the course. It's not the producers, not the directors, so people who are watching the show need to know that we're the ones making that happen. So we try to make it as realistic as we can to give you all a true idea of what we had to go through.
Right.
Whether in training, for me being a Navy SEAL, for Rudy for being a Marine Recon, or SAS for the Brits and SBS. So we try to give you guys a true understanding of what it's like, the mindset that you gotta go through, the chaoticness of it, the extreme stress that we put you under, because we're trying to get you to a point where you feel like you might die in some way, and then see what you're going to do.
See.
Boy.
But this is the thing, because like, for people who see this, I have to speak in third person. I also have to speak in first person because this is something that I really appreciate because I didn't have this opportunity to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's weird because like I'm having, not having a moment, but just the PTSD from those 10 days that we were with each other, and we're gonna get into it, but I wanna know more about Q. See what I'm saying? Like, where are you from? How did you come into this world of military or Navy SEALs? You know, how did we get here?
Long story, but I'm glad we're going to go into it, brother. Honestly, it's something that I like to show others, especially the youth as they're coming up, that you can change the circumstance of your life when you have trauma and stuff in your life. So I was originally born in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And from what I recall of my childhood, it was not the best, right? My mother was a drug addict. and she still even is battling that today. I didn't know who my father was, so I was raised by my grandparents, my grandmother and my grandfather, and they did the best they could for me. And all my aunts and uncles, they also tried to jump in and play that mother figure or father figure that they could be for me, until we moved and went to North Carolina. Because things were just, it's not what you wanted them to be back in the 90s in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Because I finished school in 99. So most of my childhood was in the 90s and late 80s.
Right.
So the domestic violence I saw, my mother getting taken out of the house, going into prison, her sending me letters, me finding the drugs. I was a very curious kid, so I was curious what this stuff was, it looked like.
Yeah.
Her gone every night, long nights. And my grandmother got to a point where she just said, you know what, we need to get out of here. So we moved out of North Carolina, and once I got down there, we stayed with her mother, which was my great-great-grandparents.
Right.
Totally different situation too. Now I'm going from the city to the country. Now I'm going from, where houses are right there side by side to the country where there's farms and cows and everyone's house is on an acre. So I struggled a little bit going through that process as well. And then my grandparents got sick, and diabetes, he was an amputee, and all these other stuff started happening. So, and I struggled when I first was the new kid in school. I was poor.
Right.
So I was teased. I was teased a lot, and then I kind of found my way a little bit when I started playing sports. I started playing football.
No.
Yeah, I was a running back, man. I started playing football, and that's what kind of like found my way, bro.
Yeah.
And then I started building some relationships with some friends in the school. Found a little bit of an identity for myself. I was very fast,
Right.
So I thought I was the man for a minute, but still dealt with the drugs and stuff when my mom got out of prison. She followed us back.
Yeah.
She followed us down to North Carolina, man, and then it went from even people in my high school knew about her. My friends knew
So
about
it started bleeding into your personal life.
Yeah, and it was very, I got to a point, honestly, Cam, where I hated her for many years. For many years, I couldn't stand her because of the situation she put me in, the things that she was doing. My childhood was not the way I wanted it to be. You know what I mean? So I was kind of like depressed in that state of mind. And then she had my brother, and then he was taken by his dad. She had my sister. She was in the foster home, and then all these different things started happening. So it just always was consistent chaos and chaotic in the house. And then I even had my own issues. I had kids in high school. So grandma was like, boy, you're going into the military. So that's how it kind of pushed me into the military, because she was like, she knew she wasn't going to be around very long because of her health. And she was like, you're going into the military so you can take care of your kids and do something for them.
Wow.
So that's what her mindset was for me.
That's crazy. Like, there's so many different, everybody has a story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody that was on our cast knows, like, we always was teasing, in the dorm, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And you was notorious. Everybody was always mimicking Q. It was like, you will quit. And that was my first remembrance of, I said, man, who the fuck is this big ass husky black dude? And boom, the first one. The first situation that we had, or I remember from you, was like, I got pushed off the boat. And then it was like a moment like, bro, did this motherfucker just push me? I was just like in shock. And then one of the cameramen kind of like pointed this way as he's recording. He's like, yo, go that way. I see the boat taking off more towards sea. I'm like, bro, where am I at right now? So as I was swimming, and it was Q in the boat, was like, hey, man, hustle your fat ass up. So I'm like, oh my God. So they trying me. I'm trying to keep it sane. I'm like, oh my God. Then me and Golden had that moment, like on when we first got up to the top. It was like, I don't know what happened, but I had so many clothes on. It was taking me so long to take my clothes off.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was like, 16, get out. And then I don't know what number Golden was. And it was like a moment. You too, I will make you quit. And now it was that grin again. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So, man, it was just that whole time, and we're gonna get more into it, but I think the biggest misconception about Army, military, Navy, SEALs as a whole is people don't really understand the difference. People don't really understand that, hey, there's a order of operations that they abide by, different than how we abide by, the Marines, all the above. Can you really explain that, for the people to understand more?
Yeah. So, in America, we have 4 different branches, right? You got the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, and the Army.
Right.
You can say 5 if you're thinking about, National Guard and all that stuff. Coast Guard, excuse me. The difference between the two, the Navy, is big on ships and just taking over a whole lot of area, right? We have jets too, just like the Air Force does. I mean, every branch has jets or something like that.
Okay.
For the Special Forces in the Navy, you got the Navy SEALs, which everyone knows SEAL stands for Sea, Air, and Land, because we can do a broad, audience of things that we can do.
Okay.
We can come and attack you if you're a terrorist group and you're close to the coastline.
Right.
We can hit you on the ground if we need to, right? We can do it all, honestly, and we need to get up out of the water. And then you have the Marines, right? Marine Recon for Rudy. Right. They're land, very clandestine stuff, so they really are really big into taking over a certain part of a community if something going down in wartime. And they're really good at that. And then the Brits, as you see with Billy, Foxy that you had to deal with, right. Billy is a SAS, so Special Air Service, right? And Foxy is Special Boat Service. 2 different things. They just deal with 2 different types of areas of warfare, right? Boat service, you come out of the water for Foxy, the big bloke or whatever. Yeah. And then Billy, he's more of the air service. But they deal a lot with land. And Billy has been through a lot. He's been like 27, 20 years in the military. I only did 22. So he's got the most amount of experience than all of us. But he's been out there, man. I think he's also been a prisoner of war at the time. So he's been captured through that process that you guys went through at the end. What? He's had a real experience of that. If I'm saying it correctly, I think he's been really in that situation. Yeah.
So who identifies a situation that may happen? I mean, I've seen numerous films. Yeah. I've seen numerous documentaries. Yeah. Who really assigns the responsibility to delegate? Hey, no, this is the. Hey, no, this is the arm. Hey, no, this is the. The SEALs team. Hey, no, this is the. Who gives? Who's quarterbacking that?
Well, say like when we went after and got Osama bin Laden.
Yes, sir.
Right. That was coming from DC. That was an overall broad thing because in DC we have SEAL Team 6, which is to us development group. Right. They get their what am I trying to say? Their funding is much bigger than any department that we have. Right. They get all the cool gadgets, all the cool weapons, and they train to specific things. Like they have a department that's really good in the sea, a department that's really good in skydiving, a department that's really good in combat warfare. Like if someone had to come in this room that we're in right now because there's terrorist groups in here, they're really on that. They know how to come through that door, blow that door, and take away every threat that's in here. Fast and quick. And without even saying a word, right? We all train to that, but that department of SEAL Team 6, they're like the expert, the upper echelon. We would try to, not qualify, but work out for it, kind of like what you'd say in the combine and all that.
Training camp.
Training camp, yeah. Right. We would go through that, another point of selection to get to SEAL Team 6 from a normal SEAL team. So that's how, they're the big cheese. So DC sometimes I designate who's going to do this certain mission. And a lot of times it's what the SEALs are, who we are. And I'm not trying to brag because, everyone knows who the SEALs are, but I'm just being honest. Yeah. DC normally uses us or Delta Force to do major things or go after the big.
So what's the difference between SEAL and Delta?
We're really close. We still do some similar trainings to be where we are together, but they may not do as much as stuff we do in the water, right? Marine Recon, same thing. They do more land. They don't really touch water so much, or air. Green Berets, same different things. They don't do as much as what we do. So we just encompass in everything. And we've pretty much been able to master each portion of that segment, land, air, sea.
So as we talk about the broad scope of the Marines, the SEALs, the Army, how does it start shrinking down to say like, hey, I started here, but now I'm a part of the SEAL 6, or am I saying it right? Or the Marines, the super exclusive. In order for me to say, we the big cheese, we had to start somewhere. And do you say, like, does the head officer say, and I'm sorry if I'm botching it up.
No, sorry, I love the conversation.
The head officer say, hey, I got me a guy or two that's really serious, that can really take, they're my all-Americans, so to speak. Right. And they get to have an opportunity to take that next step.
In the SEAL teams, we have like we call chiefs, right? They're pretty much running a platoon. And a platoon at a SEAL team it's about anywhere from 16 to 20 guys. We are really small. Marines, Army, Air Force, there are other special forces that we have in each branch. They have a bigger amount of people in theirs than we do in ours. That's why we're very surgical at what we do. I gotta say surgical because we're very into it, brother. We just make things happen. So when we leave and go on deployment, when it's just 16 and 20 of us, that's all we got. You know what I mean? So something happens, I'm a breacher, you're a sniper, there's a comms guy, you know, there's the chief, he runs everything, he makes the calls, he knows your skill level because we train to that level of detail. So we know what you're really good at. And we're gonna put you in a position so you can really take charge of that and win for us. And then depending on deployment, how long we're gonna be out there, you're just gonna do as many operations as you need to, you know, take care of the bad guy.
So is that the smallest tactical group that'll go out? Or what's the smallest? Like you said, 16 to 20. Is there a situation where that 16 could turn into 6, 8, 4?
I would say yes on certain operations, depending on what it is, right? So say we have I'm trying to say it as a target location in the middle of a city. There's a home there. And we need to do some direct action mission on that home, right? We're going in there. So we're gonna try to take all 16 to 20 of us max, because we're gonna need some people to stay in the vehicle, hold security, make sure no one else is coming around to take care of us, or, because you know, if this is the home here, there's other 5 or 6 other homes here. But when we pull up to this house right here, we gotta make sure we keep everybody at bay.
Right.
Because they may still have their security
for sure
looking to come in.
You gotta factor in everything.
Everything. And everything we train on, it always changes, right? We can, no matter what we have planned for an operation, it's always gonna change when we get out there. We have to adapt. You have to have thinking shooters. That's what we call thinking shooters, critical thinkers, people who are not robotic. They can make change and adapt to the situation as it goes, because it will never be what we trained it out to be.
Right.
So then you'll have that, right? Direct action. Or then you may have, we just wanna get reconnaissance, right? We wanna get pictures. We wanna identify the target threat before we make a decision to go into it.
Right.
So then you may send 4 to 6 guys out by themselves, way out there. They gotta figure out, well, honestly, perfect example, have you ever seen the movie Lone Survivor?
Yes, my favorite with Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, right? So that movie was written by Mark Luttrell. He's a former SEAL who was actually in that operation. He was one of those 4 who got killed. Well, he survived. He
survived, right.
And that was a segment of what I'm talking about, just reconnaissance. Their mission was to go out there and gather information. And then, as you saw in the movie, and then in the book, there's different things and versions of that. But at the end of the day, they got compromised, and they was up against a large amount of enemy combatants. So that's what took down. And in that fight, we lost more SEALs than we've ever lost ever in any mission, military combat ever in our history. That was it, one time. You know, we lose more people sometimes just in our training, because our training is so real. But off of that mission right there, the helicopter that got shot down, all those SEALs that was going out there to go and save them and rescue them and get them back home, we lost more guys than we ever lost in one mission.
That's crazy. There's something that I relate to, because Coach Ron Rivera was big into the similarities in combat with sports and military, right? Sports and Navy SEALs, sports and something Air Force. Because you have a plan, you have a team, and you have to execute it.
Yep.
So in that, one of the things that Coach Shula, who was my offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for a long time, somebody came and spoke to us and they said, while we're in military or while we're on a mission, we all have to be open-minded to handle the what ifs.
Yeah.
What if it is raining? What if, somebody does get shot? What if you get shot? What if somebody dies? What if this happens? What if that happens? And still not panicking, just finding a solution to each and every problem. And it may not be something that we went over. I remember, and I'm keep going back and forth to what I witnessed with the Special Forces. It was one of those missions that we were on, and it was like, yo, the overarching thing was we save lives.
Yeah.
We save lives. Yeah. And then the mission was to save this one particular life. It was like, yo. And I remember looking at that picture, and I was like, all right, bet. I'm about to go in here and I'm about to get her. Like, I'm a captain, save them all, right? Boom. And boy, I got in there, And it was loud, boom. You hear bombs, boom. You know, Billy screaming at you. This person screaming. You got the person that you with, she's panicking, he's panicking, everybody's acting crazy. You got a certain time frame to kind of get in. And then you see a person, it's like, nah, this is not that person. You see another person, and yeah, okay, it's her. Everybody else leaves, and then all of a sudden you're like, yo, we did it. And it's like, no, you didn't. The overarching thing was we saved lives, not a life. If you're saving a life and there's other innocent people there, you gotta handle it. So like those things was something that gave me a whole different perspective, not just with our military, but for life. It's like, yo, we all wake up each and every morning with an idea that today is gonna be my best day, but it's not. Yeah. Or we thought today was gonna be bad, but it really actually is good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of wanna go back to something real quick where, what drove you specifically to becoming a Navy SEAL? You could have been anything. Yeah. Like you said, your grandmother said you're going into the Army, right? Yeah. But what drove you to that? What was it about the SEALs that garnered more attention than the other?
I wanted more. Baseline, honestly, that's exactly what I wanted. Mm-hmm. So she pushed me in because she wanted me to be able to take care of my kids and give me something that I can survive off of, because she knew she was going to be around. So she wanted me to grow as a man. I was still trying to bumping my head, basically. So, but when I got in, I got a chance to work with the SEALs, and I was like, wow, that's what I want. That person right there, they're having a direct effect on what was going on in the world, and I wanted to be a part of something bigger than just me. It couldn't just be about me. I wanted to be able to help an entire community, right? Have a direct effect on the world. So I want to go into the program. And when I told her, she was pissed, right? Because she just wanted me to be safe. Just go in the Navy, just chill, relax, do your time, get out.
Get the perks, get the benefits.
Yeah, get the benefits and relax, get your education, and get out and get a good job and then live a life. So when I told her about that, because when I grew up, the Navy SEAL movie I saw was the Charlie Sheen one, the old one like that of '89 or something like that.
Was that
I think it was called just Navy SEAL or SEAL team.
SEALs, yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking, that's cool, but when I joined the military, I didn't even think on it. It didn't dawn on me that was a thing. Even I'm in the Navy where the Navy SEALs are, and I still didn't think about it. It took me until I got a chance to work with them, and I was like, that's what I want.
How many people went in with you?
My class?
Yeah.
Big Cam, I had about 270 men in my selection program. Mm. And that's BUDS, right? That's the name of it. It's called BUDS. BUDS stands for Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL School.
Dang.
Even the title.
Underwater?
Yeah.
Shit.
Even the name sounds bad, right? It sounds harsh, right? So I went in with all those men, all different colors, all different sizes, all different shapes. Some people wanted to be a SEAL, but they didn't really want it. They didn't really have a true burning desire or inspiration.
They wanted the title.
They wanted the title. You know, like think about how many people want to be in the NFL.
Hello.
They want the title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when they get in the NFL, just like they get in the SEAL teams, they don't perform because they're just happy with the title.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Even in the SEAL teams, we still have it, right? Even though our selection is as hard as it can be, but some guys will just be there just to be a SEAL, but they don't really understand. You have to earn your trident, which is the Navy SEAL symbol on our chest. Earn it every day. That's our motto, right? So you get in that SEAL team, you still got to come back from the bottom and you got to work your way up. Mm-hmm. So when I went through the program with damn near 300 men, we got to Hell Week. Hell Week is the 4th week in, right, of BUDS. And this is Hell Week where you go from Sunday night to Friday morning with only 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And that's like Wednesday, Thursday. That's it. And that Thursday that Tuesday morning at like 2 a.m. And this is something.
So
mm-hmm.
I'm
sorry, go for it. Go for it.
You got 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
4 hours of sleep collectively over those 7 days.
Yep. That's BUDS. That's Hell Week. That's what they call it. I ain't gonna lie to you, when I went through the first time, I thought, man, if America knew what they was putting us through, this would be illegal. That's how I looked at it. But it's necessary. If you want to be that elite and you're going up against men who will cut your head off and drag your body in the street, you have to be on that level mentally and psychologically. You got to go through something to be able to go out there and get that dog. You know what I mean?
Boy, I believe I'm there. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but 7 days, mm-hmm. 4 hours of sleep at max.
Yeah.
For what you can share, right? Yeah. 270 guys entered. Mm-hmm. Like they just like snipers. Just
yeah.
How like At what point did the most guys leave?
By the time we got to Hell Week, which is the 4th week,
Right.
we already down to about 150. So that first day from 270, they were chopping them off in the first 3 weeks. First 3 weeks, guys were quitting on their own. Wake up quitting, because they was with the bed thinking about the struggle of what they got to deal with the next day. They wake up the next morning like, I can't do this no more. And they go and ring the bell. And this is a bell we have in the training pipeline. So once we finished Hell Week, when we went in about 150, we came out of it with about 60 to 70. Out of that, just that week, guys were just dropping off. And then, long story short, when you get to the end of Buds, which is 6 months of that, and then you got another 6 months of another thing, it takes a year to be a SEAL. So you got to combine both 6 months of training for a full year. By the time I finished, we only had 15 total at graduation. Out of all of that.
Hold on. That ain't much. That ain't that much goddamn work in the world, boy. You mean to tell me 6 months? And when I hear 6 months, I'm hearing the Hell Week 6 months.
Oh no!
Like what a part of that initiation? Okay, we passed the initiation. That's 6 months.
Yeah, well, like your selection that you went through on our show.
Yeah,
that's a selection we deal with for that entire 6 months. Somebody's always in your ass. You never have a good day. You can crush an event and blow it up. The instructor's gonna make sure you know you ain't shit. You don't deserve to be here still. They won't shake your hand until you actually graduate that first 6 months. When you graduate that, you still have another 6 months to go. You still ain't made it. That's why it's like you gotta earn this shit every single day. And it's just the nature of what it becomes as Navy SEAL is what it's about, the mindset of it. Yeah. You have to want this. This has to be bigger than you, like bigger than any individual person. And my inspiration and my why was my grandmother, my kids. Yeah. That's what kept me there.
You said something where you knew America was putting you guys through something that if the cat got out, you knew something about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was worth fighting for America?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of significance I gained out of what I was doing for the world, right? And some people look at wartime in America as trying to be the overall big brother, big sister of the world and try to do all this stuff like that. And I get it. Yeah, I don't want to be in every war, and I don't think we should be.
Right.
But sometimes if we don't help another country control a problem, it's going to bleed into us anyway. So we need to see if we can get out there. So that's why the war, to me, of Iraq. I know there was like a big thing. Weapons of mass destruction. That's why we went in there from the beginning, but we never found any. But at the end of the day, the terrorists that was there, we was able to dismantle so they couldn't keep bleeding into America, because we had our own issues, 9/11, all that stuff. It was all coming to America at some point.
Bleeding in, seeping through.
Yep. And we had to go out there and hold our own. We're in an offensive unit, so we had to go out there and make sure we could bring the fight to them instead of waiting for them to keep coming to us.
It sounds bad, and I want to stay respectful just over the whole thing, but sometimes the saying is better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Because to say it's a flex is an understatement. To say it's a blessing is an understatement. To be able to say that you live in the United States of America, the land of the free, that's more than people give respect for.
Yeah.
Because when you go to third world countries, when you go to countries where you hear stories of, this happening and that happening, it's like, that would never happen in America.
Yeah.
And some of the reasons why it will not happen is because of individuals like yourself. And, that's something that I take my, hat off and say, I'm proud to be in America. Like, for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? We have our own issues. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But in every household, there's issues.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone. And before we move on, I want to ask this one. Your grandmother was a obvious big impact of your life. I hear how you talk about her. What kind of morals did your grandparents instill in you as a child that still holds true today?
Finish whatever you start. That's the number one thing my grandmother always talked about. If you're going to do something, you better finish it. Even though she didn't want me to finish the Navy SEAL training, but I was destined to finish that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't tell you something also about, Let me back up on that piece, right? This is something that I don't even put out as much, and other than when I'm doing keynotes, talking to the youth or talking to, young men and women about changing your circumstance. I went through the program twice, Cam. The first time in Hell Week on Tuesday morning, midnight, we just finished doing something and we had to put the boats on our heads, and I can see the Navy vessels across the Bay of San Diego, and I could see the nighttime of it. I could just see, and I was telling myself, you know what I can do? I can just still quit right now, and I can go be something in the Navy, and it's just fine. I was giving an excuse to quit, and then I was justifying it by saying, I can at least say I tried this thing. I can at least say I tried to be a Navy SEAL. It didn't work out for me. I'm just like, it's too much for me. I'm gonna just go be a regular Navy person and serve, right? Everyone who serves in the military, you do your part. That's still you're serving your country. So I'm not belittling that. And I allowed that moment of weakness, mental weakness, to cause me to quit. I walked up from underneath that boat at 2 a.m. and went and rang that bell. I quit. I let that be a hurdle for me. I almost gave up my entire dream of being something better than just me, because I saw a moment of weakness of that I can just go and just do something else. I saw a little shiny thing, and I was like, okay, I can go do this. And I justified this excuse to quit. Yeah. But with the moment I quit, I saw my team running with the boat under their head. And that moment, in that exact moment, I was hurt, right? I really almost wanted to cry because I felt I was in no more pain just for that split second, but it was all right. I know at some point it's going to end. Yeah. Everything that was hurting me and mentally exhausting for me and telling me I'm not good enough and I shouldn't be here, I allowed that to seep in and control me and tell me I wasn't good enough. When I am good enough. Everyone's good enough. You're good enough. You just got to want it bad enough. You got to have a deeper why, a deeper seated inspiration of why doing a thing. And then after they was gone, and then I went through the whole process, had to turn in all my gear and all that stuff, I was determined to come back. I was fighting to come back.
What is that process? Take me through. You quit on a Tuesday.
Yep.
How long do you have to wait to start over again?
Generally, you have to wait 2 years. That's what.
What?
Yep. You have to maintain that inspiration for 2 years if you really want it bad enough to come back. And they have to approve you. You got to write a letter. You got to tell them. You got to walk through your mind again why you quit. You got to tell that person who's going to approve you why you quit and why you think you won't this time, for them to approve you to come back.
Hey, hold on. All right. So just for the shits, what if you would have quit the second time?
Oh man, I probably would have committed suicide.
No, but I'm saying, like, does people it's like, okay, there's a process when you quit first. All right, boom. That's a process for the second time. You got to wait 2 years. What if you quit again? Did you got to wait 5 years?
No, you don't get another chance after that. You don't get another chance.
So you was on your last
straw, last leg, last leg. But I got back way early. So this was the thing. So when I quit, and I had already built a reputation. What am I trying to say? Reputation in the Navy of being a solid worker. They can trust me. Okay. So I really worked hard enough, and I used that reputation to try to get me back in as fast as possible. So I called everybody I knew who had power, so to speak. And I had to deploy right again out the window. And I applied again, and they disapproved me. So I was like, see, I did it, man. I let my dream fail. I let my dream go. And then I made one call to a Master Chief. I remember his name, Master Chief Culpepper. He may see this show. And he made a call for me because he knew how bad I wanted. He wanted my personality. We knew in the SEAL teams what type of character we want on the team, right? And he made a call, and next thing I know, I had orders 2 weeks later. So I was back getting ready to go like a year. And that worked out for me. And that's when the second time I went through, that's when long story short on that BUDS, man, after 6 months, I ended up graduating top in my class. I'm the first Black African-American male to graduate BUDS, Navy SEAL training, as the honor graduate.
Speaking of Black, I done heard military, Marines, SEALs, you name it. Yeah. But the thing about them that they all have in common, they're all white. You know what I'm saying?
Majority, yeah.
So for you to be a Black SEAL, I was like, hold on. When I first seen you, I was like, what's his story? What's his gig? You know what I mean? Because we're not used to seeing it. If I give a depiction of, if somebody says, all right, Cam, describe a Navy SEAL, white, tattoos, badass, drives a Harley Davidson, family man, you know, rip, you know, just has this aura about him. It's just like a bro's bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you don't, why is that?
I would say, I think, and you know this as well, American history initially, right? You know, all the way up until like the 50s, 60s, black people in America couldn't do certain things in the military, you know, men and women.
Even in the military though?
Oh yeah, even in the military. Back in those days, you got people who, you can only be a cook at some times during a certain time. You could only do this job. You can only do that job. You wasn't allowed to take on every job in the military back in those days.
Yeah.
So there was always a baseline, and there's always something that you're gonna go through. So to create more not division, inclusiveness, when you got a group of all types of cultures, it's gonna take some time. But we're getting there for sure.
Yeah.
And especially even in the 90s. But because, so even I was saying in today's society, today's world right now, while we don't have as many blacks in the SEAL teams, to me, I would say it's only because of awareness, you know? Remember I told you when I first joined, even my recruiter didn't even bring it up to me. You know, even though I saw a Navy SEAL movie and I came in the Navy where the Navy SEALs are, it never dawned on me. And my recruiter didn't bring it up to me. And I think the issue is that is because just awareness. People are not talking about it. When I grew up, what was the thing to do for a black kid? Sports.
To steal.
Yeah, still.
Right.
Music. Right?
Right.
Those are the two things that get you out of your circumstance and get you in something else. Mm-hmm. It wasn't really a plethora of other outside things to do. You know what I mean? Like you get even Tiger Woods, you know, he was like the only golf kid. The Venus and Serena sisters, you know, their parents was the only people really pushing black kids to do that.
Correct.
So same with the SEAL teams. People were not really pushing people to join the military and go into the SEAL teams. And because it's just not an awareness that, hey, this thing is a really amazing job that you can do, that you're giving to the world,
right.
Not just yourself, you're giving to the world. So I was a part of a recruiting department before I retired in 2021 that was looking more to branch out and bring more inclusion into the SEAL teams. Right. And it's just more just talking to high schools, talking to colleges and all that stuff, and just getting people aware that, hey, this is an awesome thing that you can do and be a part of an elite team. Just like if you're in the NFL,
correct,
NBA, or any kind of professional sport. This is something also that you can think about. Trying to get parents to open that up in their mind to talk about it more.
Do you think that they were gatekeeping? Do you think like they were keeping us out?
Mm-hmm. For sure, back in the day, absolutely. Yep.
You feel me?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's a part of our history. And if anyone tries to deny that, they're just kind of fooling themselves. The history was like that at a time. Now I don't think that at all. And especially when the time I was coming in, it was like, we're trying to open this thing up and get more people out there. But we still got to talk. Like I want to be that advocate to get people to know this is a job that you can do, that you can really make good money in the military, be a part of an elite team, and still live a dream. You know what I mean? Help and be a service to others.
So when you're, and I got to ask questions not only for me, but for the people. When you hear of the greats like a Colin Powell, right?
Yes, he's a great one. Yes.
What was his process? Was he a SEAL? Was he?
No, he was in the Army.
Okay.
And he, again, back in his day, so people like him, I give my hat off to. Because just imagine what he went through back in the 70s. Because that's when he was coming into that 70s, 80s, and all that stuff as a young man. I can't imagine the trials that he went through. I can't imagine some of the things that was said to him when he went through. But he just kept going, man. His inspiration, his mindset, his determined to win and prove other people wrong. That I can do this amorphous thing that not many of us are doing. But I'm gonna show that we can do it. It's gonna be a huge trial
for sure.
But you can get there. It depends on how bad you want it.
One of the things too, where you talk about going through training, buds, whatever, that not a lot of people make it out. And not just making it out. You're not just leaving just because of I ring the bell. Some people can't even ring the bell. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were to be physically unable to perform.
Right. Yep.
What does does that get expedited for you to try again, or do you not get allowed to try again?
We have guys who get extremely hurt throughout the process, and based off of their performance, because we have a huge evaluation as they're going through the process from the students, my classmates, right? Peer evaluations, and also from the instructor staff. They're looking Every day they're looking at what students they want that type of mindset to be a part of our team at some point. So if you get hurt and they look at you as somebody who's giving that just putting out energy and just working, they'll try to keep you. They'll try to keep you there until you heal up, and they'll let you roll right back into the next class when they get to your point. But if you're somebody you get hurt, you're done. They'll get rid of you.
So say, for instance, we're going through basic training.
Yep.
I sprain my ankle. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
Do they leave, or do I get healed again? Am I off? Am I on IR? And then all of a sudden I sit out for 3 or 4 days and then kick his ass back in there.
I'll give you IR, like you said, IR, and then as soon as you heal up, we're gonna throw you right back, like you said, we're gonna kick your ass right back in there once the class gets to where you got hurt at. So you kind of stop right there when you got hurt at, and then when the class gets there, then we'll just kick you right into that. And you
can't skip?
Nah, you ain't skipping nothing.
Nah.
You ain't skipping nothing. It put me in the hospital. I thought one time they was gonna put me back when I came back the second time, Thursday of Hell Week. My kidneys were shutting down, right? So they pulled me out and sent me to the hospitals because my muscles are breaking down internally. They don't feed you, they don't give you no water, and you're going that whole 7-8 time span on me. You're barely getting anything. They want you to be broken down and see how you respond. Do you just say, I'm out of here, quit, ring the bell? Or you say, you know what, you got to peel me off the street. I got to die for y'all to take me out. And that's how I felt the second time coming out. Like, I am not letting my dream go. Just like I'm sure when you was going into the NFL, if you would have got hurt, because one thing I know about your story, if I'm correct, didn't you go through JQ? JUCO.
Yeah.
And that's a story that I even try to tell my son. Like, look at Cam's story. He went through JUCO because most kids, they come out of high school and they just want like, oh man, I just want to go to D1 right away.
Correct.
Right? And if it ain't D1, it ain't nothing.
Right.
But I'm like, Cam went through down here. Whatever happened to you in high school, we put you at this level here. And you had to work your way to get to that point and become an NFL MVP. Got all the way to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Right.
Dreams that kids need to understand that you can do it, but you have to go through the process.
But Q, I ain't gonna cap to you, bro. My carrot that I was chasing, even in JUCO, was motherfucking manyan.
Yeah.
Shit. For you,
yep.
You're going through basic training to get whooped. I mean, from the little experience that I got, I was like, bro, these motherfuckers are in my shit, bro. And it was one of them situations where I was used to that type of, you ain't shit, 16, you ain't shit. But the other people, like, it was breaking them, like chicks, I can't remember her name, but she was panicking, like, why are they so mean to me? And I'm like, bro, it was just, it just is what it is. That didn't deter me away, but my carrot that I was chasing was money. As a SEAL, the carrot that you're chasing is just servancy.
That's true, yeah.
And that makes it even more admirable, but it's like, damn, that's crazy. So even with that, if you have 100 SEALs, how many of them are black?
Oh, I can kind of give you that number now. Out of 100, you probably have 3, right?
Wait.
Oh yeah, out of 100, you have 3. Right now, at any given time in America, we have about 2,500 active SEALs, right? East Coast, West Coast, and Hawaii. That's where the SEAL team stations are. And out of 2,500, there was a survey. They wanted to know how many out of that were black. And at that time, it was about 55 to 60 of us out of 2,500.
Damn.
And I'm trying to think, what year was that? That was like 2010, 11 maybe? Yeah, when that went through. I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure the number is still probably about the same.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How many of them are niggas, though? Like, how many black people, like, I'm sorry, bro, but I gotta keep it funky. How many of them are real black?
Oh, man. Probably another, out of that total 50, 60.
That's 0.5.
Yes, that's still pretty low.
God.
And a lot of them, like even some of my friends, right? They've also come up in the same certain situations. One guy I know, he grew up in L.A. back in the day. Another guy grew up in New York City.
Right.
So they've gone through some stuff, selling drugs and all that stuff, coming up, and the SEALs are how they found their home.
But it's like, growing up in Virginia and even in Carolina, like, did you ever experience racism?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, before we moved to DC, I mean, it was still late 80s, early 90s. I mean, moved from DC down to North Carolina, and the school in DC was more predominantly black, right? Because you know the nickname of DC was like the Chocolate City.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Still is.
Yeah. You're right. When I got to North Carolina, it was a different. I wasn't in Charlotte. Charlotte has more of us as well, but I was more in a country area, I would say, where every house was on an acre of land. Cows are everywhere. So the school was more primarily white. So I had to learn a little bit differently there. You know, even history, some of the black history things were taught a little differently when I went to a white school compared to an all black school.
Yeah.
You know, certain things that we heard that I didn't hear no more once I got to North Carolina, that I was hearing all the time in DC, school-wise, right? When it comes to black history, we sang the Black National Anthem all the time.
Right.
Didn't do that in North Carolina. You know what I mean? Star Spangled Banner, all that stuff. So the stuff I faced in North Carolina was, you know, in high school. You know, we dealt with it at the time, and whether it was on the school bus or whether it's actually physically in the school. So I just kind of went through all that stuff.
Have you ever experienced racism while serving?
You know, I want to say, in a way, giving respect to the military. You know, I don't want to disrespect people because I don't want people to think that it's just isolated in the military. Racism is everywhere, as we know. And I definitely dealt with it, and sometimes I felt like I was being the target of certain things. I was writing a book for myself, for my upbringing, and people, like in the SEAL team especially, that's a no-no. They think you're writing about the SEALs, which I wasn't. I was writing about my upbringing. I wanted people to hear this story, as I'm still doing now. And for some reason, the guys that I was telling about it got to the upper echelon of command, and they called me in the office, and they was kind of like on me and berating me about this stuff, and I'm like, this has nothing to do with y'all.
Right.
You don't. Some guys have not gotten to a point of a position of power where they should have been able to, I'm trying to say, level up in rank, right? But they needed to do a position first. But that position, it wasn't given to them, wasn't offered to them, so they could rank up. So there's a lot of stuff that you'll face in the military as well, but it's just the way it is.
It's hard, man, because it's such a sensitive topic, especially for you. But things happen. Like we all are human beings, and I don't want to kind of corrupt nobody's mind or mention certain things, but people aren't above issues happening. Sexual harassment. You know, basic training, it leads to death. You know, certain things does, you know, racism, being one of 50 people that are trying to become a part of an elite group, you just look different, right? I tell my kids all the time, to some degree, the cafeteria experiment, right? First day of school, the cafeteria experiment is when you get your food and you look out onto the cafeteria, you're not going to go to the table that doesn't look like you. You're not going to go to the table that's like, yo,
that's true.
Nah, I'm good on that. No, I just go sit at that table by myself. And that right there is where it's permeating and has permeated the United States and anywhere, not just the military. We're talking about in corporate America. We're talking about in the NFL. We're talking about in the NBA. We're talking, bro, there's certain things that it still exists. And no matter how high, no matter how low you go, it's still there. So I always want to keep people aware of like, yo, it still happens. Now it may not get magnified or you know, put on the forefront like this is what happened, but it's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's susceptible to that. But one of the things that I do feel is genuine is when you go through trials and tribulations with a person or people, it bonds you for life.
100%. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So white, black, green, blue, you know, Japan, Tokyo, Africa, whatever your descent is, and we go through something together, bro, we brothers for life.
100%.
We sisters for life. Like, man, that group chat still busts off today of the cast and some of them didn't even make it 4 days and they still are like, yo, damn, dog, look at this shit that we did. And that's how you have the relationships and training camp with players. Everybody's trying to get to the common goal of the Super Bowl, right? And guys tear ACLs, guys, tear labrums, guys do this trying to go about the cause. That still doesn't make their time not spent correctly. Yeah. And you feel obligated to always pay homage to the guys that weren't able to kind of share. Yeah. So as we keep kind of speaking on just the experience, it's like being around alpha energy. Yeah. How is that?
Oh, it's great, bro. I mean, it's great. But you got to also have that, you got to talk to each other a certain way too, man. Yeah. Being around a bunch of SEALs, you can't be soft about it. You got to have that alpha, you got to be barking at them. Man, what the hell is that, man? Look, go get this shit done. Because ain't nobody going to move without you letting them feel that energy. So you can have that. And we have a good time. Like you said, I can't imagine what it's like going through training camp in the NFL with your boys who's going through that. Y'all are going through hell, coaches on you. It's hot in the summertime, all that stuff you're dealing with. We have the exact same thing in the SEAL teams, man. Yeah. And it's fun, man. You miss it. I miss it now that I'm out. For sure. You know what I mean? The brothers that we had this a dorm like this, like about as big as your studio right here, where we have all our military gear stacked along the walls and all that stuff. But we would be in here, sitting on the couch like this, joking it up, have a TV somewhere in here, and we'd be like smoking a cigar. Guys be out there playing, jousting on a bicycle with a pogo stick, trying to hit each other. It's like we was just doing crazy stuff, man.
Man, people don't understand that, man. Because like even in real world today, for me, like I try to do my best to create an environment that's safe, right? Yeah. But it's also built off accountability, number one. Yeah. And also, two, it's like a family-oriented kind of situation. Like, I got a good friend, everybody knows him by Peggy. Like, Peggy, for me, is a dude that, man, shut your ass up. And he's like, boy, you shut your ass. It's like, we have that banter where it's like, an innocent ear, it's like, hold on. It's like, nah, bro, like, that's, like, a good friend of mine, Thomas Davis, all my years in Carolina, he was my teammate. And it don't matter if I ain't talked to him in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Man, what your weak ass doing, son? Yeah. And he older than me. You know what I mean? I raised you, boy. It was one of those type of situations, but that's our love language. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to kind of, be around that alpha energy without busting each other's balls, so to speak, or giving each other a hard time. It's just like a brotherhood that you find that respect by going through it and knowing, like, I know him. He gets a pass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For that.
I agree with you, brother. Same thing.
Yeah. How do you manage your fear?
We would go through they even offered us a lot of mental classes on mental toughness.
While it's happening?
No, through our training. Once you become a SEAL, you got that. Even in BUDS, when you're going through, they still offer that to you as you get to a certain point. They're not giving it to you in the first month. You got to get to a certain point where they feel like you'll probably be here for the long haul. But you never really get over it other than you going through experience. Most of your fear, I will say, from every SEAL is the fear of making a mistake and getting someone else hurt. You know what I mean? It's not about you. You'll run through that door. Bullets coming, you're going in. Let's go. We got to. Right? There's a guy in there we need to take out, or there's somebody we need to rescue. We have to go in this home. So the fear of you losing your life is there, but you have so much more of a fear of hurting someone else, if messing up and having your brother get hurt. How to overcome that is you just got to sit there. We teach you on techniques, how to breathe, how to get ready for it. I'm a breacher, right? So if I'm coming up to a door, ready to put on the slap charge onto a door, already my mindset is already kind of nervous. I calculated this charge. Is this charge ready to go? Is it too big for this door? Is it too small? Is it just going to put a little hole in it? I want the door to come off the hinges, not the whole house to come down. So all these different things you're thinking about when you're going up there. And when you get to this point, man, you just kind of like, you got to just think about why you're here and the people around you and just kind of breathe and calm yourself down, calm that nerve down, all that stress and all that stuff. You just got to figure out how to make that happen. And we just kind of go through it and go through it and go through it and train at it and train at it and train at it. And when we get out there in real world stuff, we're ready for it.
Do you ever feel like you were prepared for this moment?
I think, my second time around I did. I felt like I was ready for it. My second time around I did. I felt like I was ready for it. And but there's always going to be new stuff that comes with it. You're always going to have a little nervous here, a little, okay, Did I train hard enough? Am I really ready for it? But at the end of the day, yeah, you're good.
So tell me about this though, because we're talking about real time, like 3 months, 6 months, 2 years. You have a real life in association with preparing for another life.
Yeah.
So you had a job, right? How did you say to the job, like, yo, I'm about to go into...
Oh, wait, are you talking about like when I was active duty, still in the military?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like when you quit, right, the first time.
Yes.
Did you go back to normal life?
Normal Navy life, yep.
What does normal Navy life look like?
Yeah, so good question. I'm glad you wanted to go in there. So I was a CB. CB was like an engineering corps in the Navy, which every branch has their version of it. So I was like a construction worker in the Navy. Good job, good trade, something I can come out with and work and make money. So I went right back to that initially, and that's what they sent me to. And I had to go back with my head down, with my head between my legs, because the people who approved me to be a Navy SEAL, because they got to approve you and sign you off and say, yeah, Jovon Quarles, we want him to be a Navy SEAL. We think he has everything in it to be one. I got to go back to them and say, man, I quit. You know what I mean? That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
That stung. Because I'm looking at them, they're looking at me as I come back in, they know I'm coming. They already got the word through email, hey, Jovan quit. He's coming back to you guys. And already it's like, dang. So I had to go back to that and then just show and be hard again, Just go back to them and just admit that I had a moment of weakness and go through the whole process to try to go back. And I was just on it, man. I was angry, I was hungry, I was fired up, determined, inspired, even more so, because I just let this go. So now I'm figuring out what my grandmother told me. Always finish what you start. I tried this program, I quit. I'm going back so I can finish this.
So as a construction worker in the Navy, what would you do extra to prepare you, or in hopes to prepare you? Like what did that daily routine look like for you?
Yeah, we would, our day would be like almost like a normal job. We would get up and have to go to work around 7, 8 o'clock. Normally our workout time was in the morning, right? And then you have a lunchtime, 11 to 12 or 12 to 1, just like anybody else. So we would do that. Sometimes I would still go work out. And then when I got off, I went and worked out again. I was that determined. So when I got off of my regular job in the Navy, I would just go into the gym every chance I got. You know what I mean? I do my job with my boys, hang out with them, work with them, try to make sure we're doing the job right for my job so I can get approved to go back again. And then after that, I'm back in the gym.
Where were you stationed?
San Diego. San Diego.
That's one of my favorite places too.
San Diego, man.
Ooh, the easy breezy, couple surfers, crushing.
I tried surfing too, man. But that didn't go well.
Niggas don't surf. Come on, bro.
That didn't go well. I tried.
What?
I tried.
But the vibes is elite though. Like Saturday, everybody's on the beach and rad, cool. They got their own gnarly, like that whole little lingo that's out there.
I crack jokes with my friends because two of my best friends are white. And they love snowboarding and skiing, all that kind of stuff, all extreme sports. So I say that kind of stuff to them all the time. Like you said, man, because one of them is a SEAL.
Yeah.
We just have that bond still,
Right.
We could talk that kind of shit to each other.
Correct.
And just have that fun, man, like we was back in the SEAL team.
Yeah.
So I have tried that stuff, man. So it's the funny stuff, man. Like you said, that's how we act.
Bruh.
Shred the nards.
Shred the nards,
Shred the nard.
bro. Gnarly. Yeah. I'm gonna crush it.
That's it right there. Yep.
So we've identified that in preparation as a SEAL, you have to train your mind just like you train your triceps.
Yeah.
How do you train your mind more in depth with pushing through the physical and mental exhaustion?
We talk about find your happy space, right? When you're struggling, when you're in a mental breakdown or thinking about quitting or trying to make excuses to get out of doing something or whatever that may be, we always talk about going into your happy place. My happy place is spending time with my grandmother, making her happy. That was always it. So my mindset, outside of just the mental coaching they gave us so we can be better and know we can win and we can do these things. Because our training was always meant to train you to fail. You're not going to pass something when we go through training. Our training is extremely hard. The instructor set it up for you to purposely fail. Yeah. Because they want you to see that, hey, you may went through this doing training here in America, but when you get to Iraq or Afghanistan or Syria, wherever you go, if you ever in this position again, you know that you can still handle it. You may not completely pass it, but you can still handle it. So we want to give you something that you can relate back to. Some mental practice, mental scars that we give you. Right? You're gonna get a lot of scars in training that we go through, but those scars are built so you can know that you can fall back on that when you need to, when you're out there in the real world dealing with something that's going to trigger that and make you feel like, man, I can't do this. But no, you can. You just deal with this craziness back in the desert of California, or the desert of Las Vegas, or wherever we was training at, in the oceans and out there that we do crazy dives with, from coming out of submarines, all these different things we have to go through. And it's all cool. I love it. I tell you, I miss it now talking about it. But it puts you,
crazy.
It puts you in a space where you got to think about it when you're in that real world thing. You know what I mean? You know, how to adapt, how to be ready for it, right? You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I always still bring it back, even to your position when you was a quarterback, right? Everything is played out for you. You know exactly what the mission is supposed to do, to play how it's supposed to be. You got 1 target here, 2 targets, 3 targets. You know how to go through your progression. But that breaks down, you got to be able to adapt. You got to be a thinking person, fast, quick, right? You can't be a robot. You have to be able to think and make a decision and adapt to the change, because everything's going to change the entire time when we're out there. And that's what our whole motto is. You have to be an independent thinking person, thinking shooter, and be able to be a critical person too, because it's always going to break down when we're out there on a mission.
So many times in life, we don't give enough credit for this specific saying. A lot of what we do are reactionary. Football is a reactionary sport, meaning whoever reacts fastest typically succeeds. In battle, on a mission, if you react faster, the right reaction, faster, then typically success follows.
You can overwhelm the enemy.
So let's get into Special Forces, where the obvious is, how did you even come up on this gig?
Man, it was funny. I retired in 2021. I went through a little depression, right? Because I didn't know what I was going to do next. And I don't mean to jump the question, but did you feel any of that when you came out of NFL? Did you go through something, because you always had the NFL for you? always had football.
Always, yes.
You know what I mean? And when I came out of the Navy, the SEAL teams, I had that team for so long. And when I didn't have it, man, it was like a lost segment of my life.
Bro, we talked about it in our meeting, with the mirror room or the interrogation room. It didn't get posted, but there was a very vulnerable, kind of moment where, we talked about depression. And we're in denial of depression.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I didn't want to believe it was me, but it was in it.
Bruh. So you're literally existing in a world where it's like, bro, I could do anything. And while you're in it, like while I was in the league, I was like, bro, it would be so good to just take my son to school and just kick shit and play video games all day and just create content and just blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, when nobody's hitting your line, like, yo, bro, we want you to come here, bro, you see other people getting signed, it's like, hold on, whoa. Slow down. He signed and me not signed? Okay, all right, whatever. Then you see a whole season go by where it's like, yo, bro, hey, come pull up, we about to come watch the game. And I'm like, man, fuck that game. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. Man, that weak-ass team, I hope both of their ass lose. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that more so than it's like, yo, the end of July always was the time for me that I triggered myself that it's like, yo, it's training camp time. My family already knew, don't bring that shit to Cam, because he's in that mode, right? During the season, do not talk to Cam about this type of stuff, because if it can wait till after the season, we'll handle it, as need be. So when I got done playing, bro, there was a time where I didn't give that emotion a real type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bro, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Right there.
You know what I'm saying?
That part right there.
It's like, okay, I'm retired. Well, I'm just not officially retired, but I'm not playing no more. I know I'm not gonna play no more, but it's like, hey, big dog, what you gonna do? Like, you're waking up like it's 11 a.m. My brother call it stripper hours. Bro, you on stripper hours, boy. You waking up at 2 p.m., boy. What you doing, boy? And I'm like, dog, hey, y'all want to go hoop? Like, what are we doing? It's like, hey, bro, y'all trying to go? And like, I never was a traveler to like, I had teammates like, bro, let's go to Miami, bro. Like, let's go to, Dominican. Like I never was that guy. I was just always, my time spent back home was my safe haven. Like I didn't need to go to LA, New York, you know, all these different extravagant places. I just wanted to go back to Atlanta and just kick it with my family. But after a period of time, I'm saying to myself, it's like, okay, 2 months, 5 months, 8 months. Football season has came and gone. A year, 2 years.
You had that.
What's up?
I completely figured. That's why I wanted to see what that, because I had that exact same thing. When I came out, it was like I got lost. You know what I mean? And I was doing the same thing, the stripper hours, getting up at 11 a.m. and just lost myself, staying in the house. I was stuck in the house for a while. What helped me, one of my SEAL brothers, my best friend anyway, he actually lives in Utah. He said he went through the same thing. And he was able to help me understand how to get out of that depression that I had coming out of the SEAL teams, not having that team, not having that structure, not having that you know, where I just knew where things are going, you know, direction, clear direction every single day.
Clear direction.
So eventually I got to the point where I wanted to be a trainer. I was like, you know what, since I can't be a Navy SEAL and, you know, have an impact on the world anymore, maybe I can have an impact on individuals. So I started training people who were not happy with their physical shape. You know, so I wanted to be a trainer. And then through that, I was using my Instagram to build that up, and it was doing really well. And then all of a sudden, the show casting director reached out to me and said, hey, you a Navy SEAL? I was like, yeah, texting him a lot. I was like, he's like, we got this show that we're talking about on, we'd like to see if we could talk to you and ask you some questions about your career. You know, is that okay? And we want to record it. I was like, man, hell no, who's this scam? I was like, I don't trust you. That's exactly how it was. And I blew them off, and they kept coming back. I had no idea they were searching for another Navy SEAL for a long period of time. So I think about a month went by, and I actually said, okay, I'll be down for a meeting. We did a Zoom. Some little UK skinny dude, and it still looked weird to me. I was like, is this real? Yeah. I was like, this some scam
Shiesty shit, boy.
People hitting you up on
a sketchy, it's sweaty situation right
bro,
here.
you know it, man. Sketchy, especially on social media.
For sure.
I'm
You
like,
get virtually, you don't even know what the motherfucking shoes look like.
The backdrop was just a bookcase, and I'm like,
oh, that's the typical what is it? Whatever the fuck that little filter is that you could just put on.
Yeah, you know, so I wasn't trusting it. And they wanted to know my background. I mean, I had a top secret security clearance. I can't give you my background. I can't tell you what I've done and where I've gone. So we talked, and then he said, okay, listen, let's have another meeting the following week. I said, all right, we'll do that. And I think he tried to break my walls. So, and then he got women on the call. So yeah, women on the call. He brought women on the call, and it was just 2 women. I was like, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying
even more sketchier. What the hell you got going on?
It tripped me out, man. And they wanted more questions and asked how I would be on the show. Then they asked me if I was ever an instructor. I was like, yeah, I've been an instructor when I was in the SEAL team. I know how to be an instructor. I'm not afraid of me.
I remember saying, hey, you said a Green Beret military? Shit, we could bring the cabaret. Shit.
I wasn't trusting none of it.
Yeah.
And then I finally started breaking down a little bit, giving them some more information. And the next week, and it just kept going. And then it went for about 3 months, me just doing Zooms. But they had me acting out how I would be on Zoom if I had a student who did this and that and the other from when I was instructor. So now I'm trying to act on the screen. That was weird again. And here I am. I'm like, huh? You want me to act it out?
I don't act. This shit ain't acting.
You know, when I'm
real.
This is real stuff. When I was instructor, when you on them, because you are the gatekeepers for people who want to be in my community.
For sure.
I got to send you.
You got to sift through all the bullshit.
Yeah, because I don't want you at the SEAL team and you're not deserving
You're a
of
fraud.
it. Yeah, you're a fraud, man.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, you may get one of my friends shot. You know what I mean? So we're the gatekeepers of allowing anyone to come through us to go into that training.
Yeah.
You know, and I was more so for the officers.
For sure.
Because you got officers enlisted. So I was the instructor at the officers. Officers are really more in charge of the enlisted, but the enlisted dogs, they're the sheeps. You know, I mean, not the sheep, they're the wolves. They the one who really make things happen.
Correct.
Right? The OIC.
Guard dogs.
Guard dogs, right? The officers are the ones who oversee. They see the big picture. You know, they're just trying to tell you, okay, we need guys over here, and they're listening to so much stuff. They got to take in a lot of information in their ear and disseminate it out to the wolves to go out there and make it happen. So I had to make sure I was on it. So I gave them what they needed, and the next thing you know, they put me on the Zoom with Billy, Foxy, and Rudy. And they was like, they seen my Zoom that they recorded, that I allowed them to record, and they was like, we want you on the show. And they pulled me off for the show outside of all the other SEALs that they interviewed. So that was cool. That was cool.
So I will remind the people here today again, I'm not used to seeing DSQ in this type of magnitude because the person that I saw and witnessed for the days that I was doing the show, it was the militant person that, I mean, out of the 24 hours, let's just say times, well, we was out there 10 days, times 10, I probably got a humanistic version of Q 3 hours. If that, it was just like
that. I'm like trying to think, when did I give that out?
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that much that it was like, cause he was always still faced. It was always, that motherfucker boy came in that damn thing, said, anybody got some snacks?
I remember that.
16. I was like, damn, bro, I had stashed me some toast, stashed me some eggs. Big fat ass, you want to damn stash, huh? You want to bring these rodents in here, huh? Everybody looking at everybody boots, everybody belt, making sure that's go, you will pay for that. Oh, yeah. You will pay for that.
Oh yeah, those are the times. But we built a relationship now through all of that.
I felt like you was one of me. And I was like, man, I just needed to see you. I was like, oh, as long as he here, cool. He ain't gonna just have me out here naked like this. And lo and behold, he had me out there naked like that. And I'm like, goddamn.
I did.
Damn, brother, what happened?
I did want to challenge you. I was all about it.
Bruh.
Because I watched you, man. I come from North Carolina. I watched you and everything. I said, man, you was the all-star. You was the man. I said, this is gonna be fun. I want to challenge this guy.
And I respected it. Like, I come from that. My father wasn't in the military, but my father didn't bullshit with me, ever. Still don't bullshit with me. Yeah, I had a moment last night with my kids. You know, we over here doing fresh squeezed orange juice. And I'm just real with them little motherfuckers. I said, hold up. One of y'all little motherfuckers must line it up. Hands up. I need to see who must got there. But, and look, nah, you good, go on. Nah, you good, come on. And it's getting down to the bottom two. And I checked both of them. I said, now listen, if one of y'all over here smelling like a grown-ass man or grown-ass woman, boy, I'm telling you about yourself. That's impossible. And the last one, I ain't gonna say who to protect it. You know, what you say, it was a top flight security. I said, boy, you're musty as shit. Boy, take your ass upstairs and go put some damn deodorant. I'm gonna disown your ass smelling like this.
Yep.
But I come from that strong, intense, and you find love through that. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned this, and I learned it from my father. Don't care about the words more than the intent behind the words.
Yes.
Because somebody can be so hard on you. And the great ones know how to decipher when I need to be hard.
Yeah.
Serve it with vinegar, or do I need to serve it with honey?
Yeah.
That's the greatness in leadership. And you don't respond in a pushback. Like, man, who the fuck you talking to like that? It's like, okay, cool. I gotta earn. I went into that situation with the mentality, not that I'm too good for this. It was like, I wanna earn their respect. And that's my background. You had movie stars, you had, entertainers, other sports, that they may not have had that same type of preparation for their sport or for their trade. So it's like, I felt at home. The toxic, toxicity in it, it was like, okay, cool. And I've never really, honestly speaking, I never really considered ever going into military or the SEALs or the Air Force or whatever. But after that experience, I say, bro, I see how you feel a part of something. Like, cause that was a different type of bond, bro. Like one of those nights where we lost Carrie.
Yeah, that was a hard night.
And we went through, I felt like these motherfuckers got the control. They got a damn hotline of Mother Earth. Cause it just started raining out the blue. I'm like, man, what the hell? And then it was cute, they said, 16, you ain't getting your hair. I want them dreads.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
In the mud.
Yep.
I said, bruh, next time
looking for you.
I went in there head first, boom.
I was looking for you.
I said, boy, but I didn't know any different. Cause I've had coaches that's like, listen, bro, like we gonna do up downs until, and you had to commit. It wasn't no, in the words of Bill Belichick, he was like, bro, this ain't the type of game that you wanna stick your toe in. You got a cannonball in it. And I wanted to take that whole experience and just really submerge myself into getting the whole experience. And contrary to a lot of other cast members, for me, I'd never seen a show.
Okay.
I went in there full like, man, you know who I am. I ain't worried about that. So it was even worse because I'm like, hold on. Everything was like, is it, man, I seen that damn black, whatever boat that was coming from afar. I'm like, who the fake ass 18 coming up here? And the motherfuckers throwing them bombs, boom. Yeah. Somebody hit my hat off. I said, oh, these motherfuckers is trying it. God, they put that damn mask over your face. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because I'm saying to myself, okay, I knew it was like, because we had counted, it was 16 of us. But then when I took my hat off, or when I took the mask off, I looked around, it was only 5. I'm like, where the fuck everybody else went? I'm like, they must have been controlled, like flying their asses off, and that's why I knew. I was like, oh, I'm about to get pushed. But through it all, like, what does the process look like of creating those different courses?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, us 4, we go through our experiences. We're just trying to figure out a way that we'll go to a cliff, we'll go to the ocean, somewhere on a beach, and we're trying to create something that's making sure we have the time right and all that stuff, that we can give you guys an authentic view and give the audience who's watching the show an authentic view of what it is to be a SEAL, Marine, SAS, SBS. So it's a lot of fun that we have when we go out and try to build the course for you guys. And then when we finally find out who's going to be on the course, which for us, we don't find out until a few days before, right? The casting directors and all them already kind of have an idea who's already signed up, but we don't know nothing until like a few days before. So we take joy in it.
But how, I know you take joy in it, like just whooping on somebody's ass or just talking crazy, but how soon were you guys there mapping out the actual courses?
We'll go out a few months before when we identified a location somewhere overseas, and we'll go look at it. We'll have the engineers with us, and we'll tell them what we want to see. And then we'll write it out, we'll draw it out, and then they'll start constructing it while we're gone. And then they'll construct the whole compound over the next few months. And then we'll come back again, like 2 weeks before the show starts, and we'll start looking at everything. We'll start testing everything to see if everything's safe. We don't want nobody to get hurt. And then we'll see, and we'll make adjustments to it. We're like, this is too easy. This makes sense, or it doesn't make sense. Is this something we've done in the military, or this is just something that's stupid? Yeah, we don't want to. This show, we are all about making sure it is as authentic as possible for us. It's not about if we're getting ratings just because we want to make a Hollywood show. We don't, I'm not going to diminish what it's like to be a Navy SEAL on TV. Sure. You know what I mean? Especially so I'm not going to do something that's going to make us look bad in my community.
Bro, the number one question that I get about the show, no matter where I am, everybody always asks, how real is the show? And I'm like, bro, that shit is so real. Yeah. And I'm skipping ahead, but that's the first time I've ever witnessed like PTSD. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I never gave it the power. I never gave it the attention to be like, because when I got back, bro, I was so like, I couldn't really sleep. You know what I'm saying? I was just expecting a shower, but I took like a 45-minute shower and just, Lord Jesus, what you done put me through. And when you ride over bridges and it's like, bro, or big waters, I'm like, bro, you have to be there. And even while you're there, it's not captured. It's all in the edit.
Yeah,
because
it is.
They don't know, like that whole time where, let's say, I was getting interrogated, so to speak, right? With you and Foxy. That was 45 minutes to 50 minutes.
It was.
That they only chopped in 3 minutes of the actual show. Thank you so much. The actual show, and then I'm saying to myself, I'm like, dog, yes, the soundbite was Cam going broke or not providing for it. I was like, no, dog, it was more intimate and more vulnerable than that, because for me, I never really had a safe space to speak from man to man. You know what I'm saying? And feeling that I got something that somebody else can relate to.
Yeah.
Because I remember...
You do.
For sure, like, not Billy, not Foxy. Who was the other one?
Rudy.
Rudy. It was Rudy that will all, I can hear his voice in the background. He's like, suffer in silence, suffer in silence. And he was saying that while we were doing certain things, but the reality is there's so many men and individuals out there that suffer in silence, and that's all you know.
That's all you know.
So when you're going through the stress and knowing that like your whole world has changed, and you suffer from mental health issues, PTSD issues, real down on yourself, you suffer in silence.
Yeah.
And you talk to so many different athletes, or I talk to so many different athletes that's like, bro, you killing it in the content game. It's like, bro, I'm just digging my way out, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to, I speak constantly, weekly, you know what I'm saying, with my team, where it's like, bro, I believe in this. I believe in what we're creating, not from the content side, but just internally as a company.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's so tough because I know football. Mm-hmm. And I always knew football was only going to serve me for a certain amount of time in my life. But those things that football has taught me, I still try to implement in everyday life, bro. So, for sure.
And you're right. And men, that's what we do. We do suffer in silence.
Yeah.
Especially for men.
So, you're telling me that every single challenge y'all did prior to, not just with the example, like, look, you're going to see Rudy or Q. You did it with no cameras, no nothing.
Oh, no, they'll sometimes use a camera just in case they like a certain look. The weather is much better or something like that. They want to bring that in a little bit. So yeah, we'll still record it. You know, same thing, just as if it was live. Just know y'all not there. Yeah. Yeah. We just want to make sure everything works, though. We want to make sure everything's good, everything's safe. We want to make sure we're still bringing a certain amount of fear to it, right? So even if someone's afraid of heights, we're going to put you in that position where you're going to think this line may snap on you, right? But we want you to figure out how to deal with that fear internally.
I want to know, how was you guys' sleeping quarters? Because they never showed that. Because I'm saying to myself, it was two things, like the sleeping quarters, and then when we got into them damn boxy ass damn little Jeeps with the little small seats, and I'm thinking to myself, it's like, bruh, you know, as a man, it's like, bro, my ass ain't fitting on this damn seat comfortably.
I mean, you're a big dude.
Bro, I'm in there just like this, and I'm saying to myself, I'm like, damn, bro. And I'm seeing y'all get into them Range Rovers, and I'm like, boy, I know they got some snacks in there. They got the seat warmers, the massage seats, AC, heat.
Hey, man, yeah. I be in there sleep. We're going to the next location. I be in there passing out. Like, oh.
No
And then when we pull up to the event, it's like, turn it on.
Cute.
So I need some caffeine real quick. Let's go. Yeah, that's how it be.
Damn. But sleeping.
That's what the instructors did to us.
There, though?
Oh, yeah. That same bit where we call you guys out from, that window.
That was the real sleeping situation.
Yep. And it sucked up there, too, bro. We slept in the same condition. We just had a bed. Y'all had cots. We had mattresses, at least.
What did y'all eat?
Oh, yeah, we definitely had like a little five-course dinners and stuff like that. Yeah, we ate a little better than y'all, bro. We had to be on our A game, so we need to be ready.
What?
We need to make sure y'all were down, but we had to be up.
Man, I'm over here thinking. So, first off, the biggest misconception for me when I went on the show, I was like, y'all, this was a competition. So, the viral clip of me jumping out of a helicopter, I thought if you fell into the ocean, you was done. I was like, nah, I ain't think I had an option to fall in the ocean, because I was thinking like, yo, this is a competition. If you fail, you off. But I'm saying to myself, boom, as people are ending, I'm like, dawg, that's more food for us.
There was sharks in the water. There was food for them too.
Man, what? I'm saying to myself, hold on. So I'm thinking, as a person is getting eliminated or a person is quitting, that will mean more everything, more clothes, more heat, more food, more, and lo and behold, it was less and less and less and less and less. First day, we were in that cramped ass car, and we had like 4 or 5 cars. So I'm like, oh shit, they gave us like a little snack thing where we had almonds. I'm saying, oh, this shit may not be bad. This shit on Fox, this shit about to be a big breeze. Next day, they had the craisins, you know, the yogurt, chocolate cover. I said, oh, this shit ain't bad. Next day, I'm like, hey, yo, because nobody was talking. Like the cameraman, they ain't talking. The producer, they ain't talking. They there, but they ain't talking. I'm like, hey man, where our snacks at? Hey man, sir, don't touch me. Where's our? I'm like, bro, we don't get no snacks. They said the DSA cut the snacks.
We did cut that off. We did that on purpose. I remember that to the T too. I remember that because it was supposed to get cut off. Excuse me. It was supposed to get cut off from y'all earlier on. And then when we found out the word, because communication, every time we build in the show in the beginning, there's always some miscommunication going on between us and the other staff. And we found out y'all still getting all these little snacks. We was like, nah, cut that shit off. We need to break y'all down. And I know you're a big dude, you gotta eat. We're like, nah, we need to break this down. We need to break him down.
Bruh.
He needs to be starving. We need him to be like, on his deathbed, like, man, this sucks.
I was. Because then you got Carrie and Brody. And then, so...
Bro, I need you to look like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. That's
Bruh.
what I'm trying to get you to look like.
I'm in that motherfucker, and then the food coming out, and Brody and Carrie, like, they're like men with size 2.
Yes.
Right? And they eating a lot. So I'm like, whoa. Hey. The motherfucker got 5 pieces of broccoli, bro. Let's cut that down. Cause I need 6. Right? His noodle count is like 10 noodles. Hey, I need a whole situation. And then I'm vegetarian, so that's even worse. Like they had the chicken breast. I'm like, man, I'm not getting the protein that I need. You dig what I'm saying? So it was a lot of mental warfare that, boy, there was the boiled eggs. Everybody not eating their eggs. I'm like, bro, I eat the egg, bro. Yeah. Then they took the jelly. They started taking skipping the sort of jelly because we would start putting the jelly into the oatmeal to make it sweeter. Oh my God, bro.
We gave it to you. We gave you exactly what we did with on deployments. We eat out of something no bigger than your book, this book right here. You just put, it's called MREs, ready to eat meals. Pour water in it, it heats it up, just buy a little bottle of water, just a little glass of water like this. And you sit there and just rip it over and just eat with a plastic spoon. And it's pretty much nothing. It's like literally nothing. And you eat off of that your entire time most of the time. Especially when you leave a compound. And on deployments, the Army and Marines own the bigger bases.
Yeah.
And the SEAL teams, we have a small compound in the corner of the base. And we leave that base and we go out and we're gone for a week or whatever, long doing whatever we got to do. And you're eating out of these little bags. So you're broke down, but you got to operate. You got to still perform. You got to be a thinking shooter. You got to be like, at your wit still, on your A game. So we wanted to put y'all there to see how y'all respond. So we gave you less and less to get you to the interrogation phase and see how y'all respond. When y'all delirious, like, dang, I don't even know my name.
Bro, who came up with that one, though?
Which one?
Hold on, before we get to that one, the last one.
Okay.
Which ones were like, you were excited to see, like, you feel me? Like, which one was you excited to see? Like, I want to see what this person's made of.
I wanted to see what you were waiting from the very beginning.
For real?
I already knew you. So the Brits, they don't know American football.
Yeah.
So I had broke them down to you, gave them you and Golden, because I'm a big football guy. I'm from Washington, D.C. I'm a Washington Redskin fan. And then Carolina. Both of those 2 teams are my teams. So I knew everything about you, man, for the most part.
That's crazy.
Not your details, of course. But
I feel played even more just like,
yeah.
It be your own kind trying to damn take you through the ringer.
I wanted to because I knew you could handle it. I really knew you could handle it. But it was just going to be something that I wanted to see and let the world see that Cam has another level that he can push through. Yeah. Because the world, to me, what I saw in football, people looked at you as somebody who was over arrogant, who wasn't a team player, all about himself or whatever. But I wanted to show the people, okay, I'm gonna push this man, and he's gonna come together as a team. And what I saw when they edited everything, we don't get to see what's going on in the barracks. Yeah. But to see how you was interacting with everybody, trying to lead everybody, get everybody hyped up, that was cool. I was like, oh shit, look at this. Yeah. But we don't get to see that while we're shooting.
Bro, it was really 2 things. Like the fighting.
Oh yeah, the fighting was good. Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have to fight one of y'all. swear on everything. Cause everybody, like, we had some of our cast kept saying like, yo, we gonna have to mill. I'm like, what the fuck is milling? It's like box. I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm looking, I'm not saying this arrogantly. I'm just looking around. I'm like, it's almost like the Oklahoma drill for football. Like, you gonna look who they gonna match me up with type shit.
Right.
And when I went in, I'm like, ain't nobody fucking with me.
When you saw the team.
Like, I seen who the cast was, I'm like, nah, ain't nobody new. And respectfully, I'm like, this is a national show. If I get my ass whooped,
oh yeah, you don't.
I can't go back to Atlanta.
You don't want to. Yeah,
I
no,
can't.
no.
Boy, I'm gonna do you like the nigga did you on the show, boy. You better keep that shit pee.
Yeah, you'd have heard it all.
I would have heard it all. So I'm like, dog, they gonna line me up. I thought it was gonna be Foxy. I was like, because Foxy was fucking with me. Foxy was fucking with me, man, and it was one of those things that I'm like, God damn, well, fuck it. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
That could happen, but not if we have too many, because y'all still had a big class still that time.
Yeah.
That's why we couldn't do it that way.
Damn. Bro, and then like, I remember looking at the segment where they showed the fighting, which even that, bro, it was controlled aggression. Controlled aggression. I was like, bro, like, that was the only time in my life that fighting was like, you're going to fight. And there was no breaking point, right? Yeah. And I treated it like game time. And when game time came, bro, it's like, man, fuck everything you stand for. It is what it is.
Yes.
So as I was getting into that mode, and I'm saying, because I'm still thinking at this particular point in time, they gonna put me up with Foxy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. We fought damn near, I feel like that shit was like 5 minutes. And when y'all called Nate, I said, Nate, he's a swimmer. He's a swimmer. They gonna disrespect me like this? And if you remember, like my brother told me, he's like, bro, I already knew you was on Demon Time because you never looked eyes with him. Because, bro, I was looking at his shit, because I knew Nate was such a good guy. He was a good guy, and I'm like, bro, I can't look at him. Because if I see him, it's gonna break me from really tapping into a version of myself that sees red only. Yeah. And boom, I heard, fight! And then, boy, it was that situation, and I'm like, bro, I can kill this dude. Because what they didn't show was Billy was allowing you to still fight while he was down.
Yes, yeah.
And when you think back of why is this important? Because in you guys' world, if you have a interaction with the enemy where no guns are there, no knives, no weaponry, no nothing, bro, you got to get after it. It's not, hold on, let me go grab my gun real quick. I'm gonna be right backstage, right here. Let me go get my partner. Like, no, it goes down right there, and the guy who has the most will is gonna typically win. You know what I'm saying? And I was excited about it, but I also, that was a real emotion where it's like, bro, I gotta come down. I'm too mad right now. I'm too mad, because I took everything. You know, there's a lot of things that you gotta factor in. You're hungry, you're away from your family, you know, you're fighting, and that's not an emotion that you could just cut on and cut off like a light switch. That's something that it just lingers. And I was like, I seen a clip that it was like, it was Foxy was like, look at 16. He's over there doing some weird shit. It's like, bro, I was literally trying to meditate, dog, to control my breathing, because I'm saying to myself, I'm too mad. I'm too mad. And people don't, for you to have never been through that emotion, you don't know
what it's like.
You know what I'm saying? And that's even can go to a point where it's like talking to a regular person of like, what is it like being a Navy SEAL, or what it's like being in the NFL? It's like, bro, like you see the touchdown and the Superman celebration and all the cool stories about but what you don't see is the sacrifices of understanding, like, bro, I had to fight through the mental barricade and still perform. You know what I'm saying? And with that, those type of things were the reason why it was hard for me to really kind of be institutionalized when I came back. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's like, man, well, how was it? How was it? It was like, bro, that shit looks so cool. I'm like, no, bro. No. So you know, and everybody, I never watched the rest of the show.
Oh.
Bro, I seen 2 episodes, and that was it.
PTSD, man.
I seen the first one, and I seen the second one, and then I was like, no, I'm good. Cause it was that real, bro. It was that real, and yeah.
No, I didn't mean to cut y'all off. I was about to say, I've experienced that. just in our training, in our selection program. Like the PTSD is a real thing. When you come out of it, bro, I remember we were peeing on ourselves just to stay warm. It would turn out to be a thing. I know it's kind of crazy if people watch it, but we were doing that to stay warm. And then when I got finished with it, bro, I kid you not, I was out in the street sometime somewhere and I just let it rip. Didn't even know it was coming.
Way.
My mind was still in it. And I was like, when it started going, I was like, oh shit, I just pissed on myself. It took me like 2 months to get past that. Straight up. So like the PTSD you're talking about is a real thing. People don't understand that.
Like, there's a moment, is it American Sniper?
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah.
And there was a scene where it starts with him with the back to the TV.
Yep.
And you see him watching TV. And it's loud, it's nothing. You think that the TV was on full blast.
Oh yes, I know you're talking about that.
And he's looking at the TV and his eyes are intense. And then it pans around and he is still getting louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. And then you look at the TV and the TV not even on.
Yeah.
And you have this moment where you're stuck and it's like, hey. So yeah. Like you have that
really
moment.
It's really
let me ask you this. What was a challenge that you had us do on a show that you felt like you wouldn't be able to complete yourself?
Jumping out of the helicopter and swimming to the buoy, to the extraction. I ain't that great of a swimmer.
Man, bruh.
And I'm a Navy SEAL. You give me some fins, I'm a shark in the water.
Bruh.
But y'all ain't had no fins. Y'all got clothes on, so the clothes are making you heavier.
Come on.
Boots you got on. So trying to do that swim,
Bruh.
that's straight hell right there.
Man,
Bro.
and then I'm saying, hold on, because you was on the boat and you was driving,
Yep.
go, and I'm like, man, this motherfucker is too fast. Failed.
Yep. I was so happy you didn't make it anyway. Because I was like, man, if I got to pull this big dude up out of here, I'm going to rip an arm.
I gotta hate it on the boat.
I'm like hating on the boat. I'm like, man, I hope you don't make it.
Oh,
don't
my
make it.
God.
Don't make it. Don't make it. Yeah, he didn't make it.
Oh my God, this shit. And the real comes out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Was it hard for you to emotionally detach yourself from the cast?
No. I wouldn't say that because one, out of the respect I have for each and every one of you, you all made it to the pinnacle of your profession, right? Same as me, as I look at it. So I look at it as all, we're in somewhat of a similar space. Even though I was big fans of, like, not just yourself, but Kayla, yes, especially Kayla.
Right.
Kyla, especially because she was in the Eddie Murphy stuff.
Yeah.
I remember watching her when I
Dr.
was growing up,
Dolittle,
you know what I
all
mean?
that,
Big
all that.
fans. But I knew what I had to do, and I knew, hey, I'm gonna just give you guys everything I got, you know, because I would have felt bad if I didn't give you everything, you know what I mean? If I just kind of sugar, you know, because I was like, oh man, I love this dude, just love these characters, man. They played this stuff, and I was all about that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get that to you. So I wanted to give you everything that you needed to know that what it takes to be a SEAL. And just like with the boxing.
Yeah.
Controlled aggression. When we go into a house, right, and there's an enemy in it, we know there's targets in it we got to take out.
Right.
One room may have the bad guys, and you got to be on it. You got to be ready to pop a shot and everything, protect your people. So your aggression is really high. But you go into the next room, there may be a woman, it may be a child. That's why we talk about you got to be able to turn it on and turn it off real quick. That's what that whole case was for that exercise, you know what I mean? Because you can't go in there with that same energy into another room with another kid, and you may just shoot them. You may honestly, if you're that hyped and you walk in here after you just shot somebody else, you go into another room, your mind might be so intense up. You see a woman right there, you think she's holding a weapon, but she's holding the gun. I mean, holding the kid.
Holding the kid, yeah.
You know, and then you just pop. So you got to be able to turn it on and turn it off. But that's what we wanted to show y'all. So everything was somewhat of a scenario, you know, even though we couldn't make it black and white like that. But
for sure.
That's what.
But we don't have that in sports.
No.
Like, you know, for a certain amount of time, you need to be on.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, even after doing this show, like I'll go in my office and I try to come down because it's a lot of energy that you're transferring from guest to guest or from staff to staff. And
100%.
People don't understand that. It's like my lady knows, my family knows, everybody knows who really knows me know, like Cam is an extreme introvert. I don't see that. Cam's always the life of the party, but I'm always by myself. You know what I'm saying? Because by the time you see me, I'm charged up.
Yeah.
And by the time I leave you, I'm empty. So for me, it's like, I don't really like being around people if I don't have to. And even my kids know. It's like they come in, Daddy! Boom, I got boys. Like the motherfuckers charge. And they know, hold on, Daddy ain't in that mode right now. So let's go on and give him a moment. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm ready, I'm ready. And I don't think that has been a byproduct of my sport. It's just been the byproduct of who I have become.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like, I need to go alienated, go off the grid sometimes just to kind of find myself. You know what I'm saying? And even to the point where, you know, back to the mental health situation, I was thinking about it and I just remembered it's like, yo, there's a time where you have to go through a phase of how do you master your routine? Right? Clear direction. Like every day you wake up, it's like, okay, boom. Above all, everybody knows I'm gonna be in this office to some degree. Monday through Friday, if I'm in time, I'm here in this office, you know, working on something. There's always something that can be done.
Yeah.
And football has taught us everything. I never had to go get my books. You know, it was always there. I never had to go fill out, you know, for my classes. It was always done for me. You know what I'm saying? I never had to worry about, you know, how long we got off because it would always say, hey, you report back on this time. Okay, while that time, you better make sure because we're going straight into conditioning when you be here. So it will behoove you to be in shape when you come here. Yeah. All them different all those different scenarios play out so you know how to shape your life around certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So first off, you know, as we kind of transition to, I want to congratulate you in your recent engagement.
Oh, thanks.
You know what I'm saying? I saw that this interview was supposed to happen earlier, but it's like, no, bro, I gotta go see my girl, man. I gotta see my girl.
Yeah,
and she lives where?
So right now she's currently in China teaching English.
Gee.
Yeah, I know.
How? Well, it's before that question. Were you in a relationship while you were serving?
Bro, been in a few of those while I was serving. I was married during one of my deployments, and yeah, that was kind of hard. You know what I mean? When you're gone for 6-7 months at a time.
Yeah.
But dating, yeah, throughout my entire career, you know what I'm saying? It was left and right.
Did anybody ever understand that?
They would say they would, you know what I mean? But until they was in it, and then they realize I'm gone this amount of time, and I'm not coming home for an extended part of time. Like, because even when we train, we don't train in San Diego. We train everywhere. We're like here in Texas. We're like in Florida. We're in Seattle. We're in Hawaii. We're always gone for like 3 weeks here and there. Even when you're married at home in America, just training, we're gone. We're in the California desert. We're in the Las Vegas desert. And then it comes time to deployment, boom, you're gone for 7-8 months. You know, so it's like they say they are, but they're not really. You know, it takes a strong woman to really be able to understand that and go through that and get in the community that the Navy SEAL teams create for them so they can still be a part of something. Like, I would assume that they got that in the NFL for the NFL wives. Well, for the SEAL
It's
wives.
coming. I have to ask this question. Did you fear any infidelity?
Oh, ooh.
But not just through your case, but just over cases. It's like, because it's hard for me I look at it, like the good about being in the NFL is like, yo, bro, you're in the NFL. The bad part is like you spend a lot of time away from your family, especially for me. Like I've always wanted children. I always wanted the family. Yep. It costs a lot to get them to where you are. I was in New England. I saw my kids 3 times in a span of 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you did it too.
Probably more than 3, but it was on a hand. And it was in COVID.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Then you started to think like, yo, they're there, you're here. So not only is she, you know, strong, are you strong too? Like you know, you gone for 6-7 months, you still got time now. You know what I'm saying? You got time.
You do.
Like we need to know.
Yeah, your mind plays tricks on us when you're gone. You know what I mean? The mind is a strong, you know, element of what we do, what we think, and how we react and what we respond to. And it'll just put stuff in my mind. I mean, I'll be thinking she's messing around, why she ain't answering my text, my call. Even when I first started deployment, we didn't really use cell phones like that. We had to call on the landline to a military base, somebody will answer the phone there, and you tell them you want them to transfer you to your home somewhere else across the other part of the country, and it was just a long process. So it was extremely hard just to talk to your family from when we first started.
And everything's recorded.
Yeah, everything. Mm-hmm.
But nothing has that been ever used against somebody?
No.
So they don't breach that intimacy?
No. No. But yeah, definitely a military base transfers you, and yeah, that line is still open and be recorded.
Damn.
So it's just one of those things, man.
I miss you, baby.
And then women gotta be strong.
What you wearing right now?
Oh yeah. It's something.
Shit, I got my gun ready to shoot you, baby. Shit, when I get back, we gonna do some milling. In the bed, I'm gonna beat some up.
That's a good one. I like
Shit. Boy, let me tell you something, boy. Because when you in training camp, because I was the last line of you really doing two-a-days. A lot of players don't know the two-a-day thing.
Okay.
So my rookie season, that was the collective bargaining where they had, the PA was really trying to put their foot down with trying to protect players.
Okay.
So for me, I was a part of that new collective bargaining agreement where you couldn't do two-a-days in the hot summer. Like you had to have certain amount of time to properly recover. Mm-hmm. And I remember weeks where we had two-a-days and it was like, yo, training camp was really training camp, but it was still a watered down version of what it used to be. Okay. So the longest stint for me was like a week and a half, 2 weeks where I didn't see nobody.
Yeah.
Like they could come visit you, but in the dorms was off limits. Like you'll have to go somewhere else, with your family to eat lunch or whatever, but it wasn't nothing that serious. And I could just only imagine for those teams that was just going for long periods of time and then you don't get to see your girl, you don't get to see your kids, you don't get to see your family. And that's the tough part, you know what I'm saying? But that's sacrifices.
Yeah.
But with you and your engagement, right? How has that been, and what has your experience taught you to be the better version this go around?
Oh man, so I'll be 45 this year.
For real?
Oh yeah. I'm 45. I'm old, getting old, bro. 5 more years, I'll be 50.
Damn.
Yeah. So
cute,
45,
like,
bro.
oh yeah.
45. I'm 45 this year. So I've definitely been around and experienced a lot of different relationships and stuff like that with women, and I found out that to truly make a relationship work, everyone talks about communication, right? That's like the main thing, but we kind of water it down. People don't really understand it as a real thing.
Right.
And now coming out this year, 45, being in a relationship, now engaged, I have learned and understood that communication truly is it, man. And this woman right here, she allows me to say completely everything as I want to say. And she takes it, she listens to it.
Yeah.
And then her responses are only just to try to understand it better.
Yeah.
She's not judging me. She doesn't get the defensive whatever I'm saying, even if I'm trying to like put something on her that I'm not liking or something like that, or it just seems weird to me that it's new. She still wants to listen and try to understand it and see where she can even come to an understanding.
You're in Virginia. She's in, where you?
Right now, I'm nomad in the country, so I'm just traveling around. I'm just seeing the world.
So with you being a nomad in America, she's in China.
Yep.
How does that, that's a whole day, they're a whole day ahead of us.
Whole day and everything, right? Yeah, it's nighttime for them. It's like 2, 3 in the morning for them right now. We talk because she teaches or whatever, but she teaches little kids, but she has time that she can chat on them in the morning, and then when she gets off 4 in the afternoon, there's still pretty much time for us to talk. And we FaceTime like crazy, and that's what we was doing last year.
Right.
And just kind of getting to communicate and talk and still be in that space.
Yeah.
And we're just always there, right? She knows everything about what I'm doing. I know everything about what she's doing.
Right.
There's no question that can even pop up, right? She answers when I reach out, I answer when she reaches out.
Yeah.
It's the now you got to be overly communicative when you're in a long distance relationship.
Man, you said something that kind of like, damn. A lot of people say it, but they don't really get it.
No, they don't get it.
Because
they treat it cliche.
There's a show that I'm a fan of with Lioness.
Lioness, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, but I think everything that we can find some type of truth, and it's not really talked about enough, is at any given moment she can leave.
Yeah.
And her husband now becomes the mom of the household.
Yep.
Now becomes the head of the household. And he still has a life too. And that's something that I empathize with. It's like, damn, bro, like that shit's real. Yeah. And when she comes back, I think the show doesn't really show her really coming down from what she's witnessed.
Yeah.
It's just like, what did I miss?
Yep.
And that could always be overlooked, but it's like, yo, dog, like your children can start resenting you because like daddy ain't really around, mama ain't really around, but they're not realizing like, yo, you're sacrificing so much that they can have. And that right there for me has been a real, like I gotta really consider like, hold on, who I'm really dating serious? Because a lot of people want they see the Benz, they see the Rolls, they see the Bentley, they see the house, they see the mansion, they see the access. Oh my God, everywhere you go, you gotta take pictures. They see all that shit, but it's like, bro, I'm human. It's like, I don't even wanna go places. I just wanna sit down and be on stripper time. You know what I'm saying? I just wanna cuddle. And just, you know what I'm saying, be pampered with and just talk, whisper sweet nothings to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to, you know, go out and feel like I got to buy you a Birkin. You know what I'm saying? Like those things are really true, especially being in the limelight where you just want to be understood.
Bro, and that's her. I'm telling you, man. I found that. Everything that you're saying, I found that in her.
Is that longevity in a long distance relationship though?
Well, we're coming together this year, that's for sure. She's moving to America this year.
For real?
For real. She's coming to America this year, so we've already made that and established that rule.
Oh,
so
that was a strong established right there.
We're coming. Yeah, so everything that you just said though, man, it's so dead on. She is such a humble woman. And she's a Christian, so she has a true belief in something on how to be as a woman and be with her man. Yeah. And I'm all about that, just cuddling. And even if we're just cuddling and watching TV all day on stripper time, let's do it.
Stripper time, that's gonna be a hashtag.
On stripper time.
Let's talk about, you know, the resentment part. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Just for you and understanding like how the bad of it.
Yeah. I didn't see it initially in the beginning, right? I was trying to do everything I could for my kids because I was stationed in San Diego. My kids were in North Carolina. So I didn't get them as much as I would love to. And then even back then, the co-parenting wasn't really a great thing at all. Yeah, a thing at all back then. So me and the mom butted heads so many times. So sometimes I didn't get my kids as much as I would like to. Right. Maybe a little extra freer time if maybe she didn't really had something going on. Maybe she would say, hey, you know, reach out to me, say, do I want them during this time? It didn't work out like that. So it was very, you know, strained. And I thought we were good, but recently now, because my kids are so much older, they're in their 20s now because I had them young. And me and my son we don't connect like I wish we would have, you know what I mean? And right now he's not talking to me as much as I would just love him to understand that, hey, I did this thing really to show you something, you know, to give you something, to give you an opportunity to know, hey man, you can really be something more. Your dad is something bigger than just a normal thing. Yeah. And it just didn't work out because I wasn't there to like on a regular basis to teach him and to let him understand that, right? Yeah. And instill me inside of him.
For sure.
He just has the natural God-given gift from, you know, blood.
Right.
But outside of that, we're missing something. We're missing a true connection. Yeah. And it happened because I was in the military. My military career really put a strain on my relationship with my son.
When was you guys' last moment that you can kind of remember?
You know, I say just probably about 4 years ago, we met up in D.C. My family is up in D.C. Yeah. He was so excited to come and tell me, or introduce me to his girlfriend. Yeah. I was like, come on up, man. You know, I'm hanging out with my aunts because I was going to drive down there anyway. I just wanted to see my aunts and all them because I haven't seen them in a while. So he drives up from North Carolina, brings me his girlfriend, and we're out midnight walking through downtown D.C., looking at the museums. And it's cold, it's raining on us. We don't even care. His girlfriend was fine with it. Then we went and we watched the football game, I think, the next day. And it was a great time, man. It was a great time. I was trying to convince him to come in the military, but he was happy with his job. I forgot he was doing construction, I think, on the roads, highways. So he eventually said no. And then after that, shortly after that is when he hit me up and said he's going through something. And then we just haven't really talked at all much. He ignores my messages for the most part. He responds here and there. He'll tell me he loves me on my birthday and stuff like that. But if I give him another message right after that, I don't hear nothing else. Yeah. He's just giving me that little bit of respect thing because I'm dad, but we're not connecting, we're not bonding, and it hurts.
Man, that hurt. That hurt because we all have sentimental moments in our lives where if you ask any man that I know that shares same values of me, I do what I do for my family, primarily for my children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have taken on children that aren't biologically mine. But you can't tell me that they're not my children, and you can't tell them that I'm not their father.
Right.
Right? And for that allegiance will always go biological first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to side with my mom. I'm going to always side with my mom. Like, yeah. And then you realize it's like, yo, you're still a part of me.
Yeah.
And it's such a very vulnerable space to be in, because as an adult, you don't know how to feel when the person that you've done it for so long isn't as welcoming like you would want him to be. You know what I'm saying? I just had a moment with my daughter, oldest daughter, and I love her so much. Just like the woman that she's becoming, it's just so beautiful to me. Yeah. And for her birthday was on the 18th, right? And during her birthday, we shared a moment where it's like, I will always be here.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's good.
And everybody speaks about it. Like, hey, women are gonna be the ones that's gonna take care of their dads. The boys, they gonna abandon their dads, you know, when it's old. I never thought about it through that lens, but like, girls have a funny way of coming back around.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys are different, because even with my oldest son, like, he's in college and he's doing life, and I'm like, bro, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it just takes an extra nudging, you know, and we have a great co-parenting relationship. I have multiple baby mothers that I have a great working relationship with, and out of respect of their situation and my situation, like, we always have to talk and be on the same page. Yeah. And they're always reminding me, like, yo, reach out. And I'm like, for them or for me, it's not just as easy as reaching out, because I don't like meaningless small talk.
Yeah.
That's just me. Like, get to the point. Like, what you need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, me being who I am has always gotten me to, like, bruh, I know you bad. I know you know, about to get evicted. Like, what do you need, dog? Yeah. And that's whatever. Now, when it comes to my kids, it's like, yo, bro, I want you to be successful. Successful to me, for you, is not making it to the NFL. Yeah. Successful for me to you is you knowing exactly clear direction of what you want to be and what you want to do. Because you should not have any type of excuse because of the access that you have. Yeah. And when you don't get that in response of like, man, Pop, man, I'm about to just pull up on you, man. Let's just kick the shit. When you don't have that, it affects you. It's like a hole. Yeah, yeah. You feel me? Yeah. So I feel exactly what you're going through, have gone through, and I just hope and pray that if your son sees this too, bro, like we're not perfect.
No. You know
what I'm saying? There are certain things that had to happen that was misfortune. Somebody had to take the L on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's sad, but it's true. It's like, yo, like, took an L. But I didn't get to see my kids when I was in New England. I was suffering from that. Like, you know, coaches coming like, bro, you all right? You good? It's like, yeah, I'm good, bro. Like, knowing good and well, it's like, man, I ain't seen my kids. Like, my kids, and even when you do talk to your kids, my kids is at an age where, you know, they'll FaceTime, Daddy. And then it's looking up at the sky like, hey, boy, hey, yeah, what y'all doing? Coloring. And then they run off, and then you realize you talking to an empty room, and their bandwidth ain't
catching on.
They don't really know, you know. So they get used to seeing Daddy over a screen, and you're suffering from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just want to squeeze them. You just want to, you know what I'm saying, run around and have that type of intimate moment, and then you look up, and boom, he's 20. Oh, boom, you look up, he's 25. Boom, you look up, he's 18. Yeah. It's like, damn, bro. Like, so it's so important to kind of be present. You know what I'm saying? Through that thing. I want to talk about something that you guys took us through. Okay. And this is really one of my last questions on this particular segment. But what's your perspective with life and death? Because one of those situations did hit home where we had to bury some of the cast. And it was like, yo, when you look at it like that, off of a mistake that whether it was unintentional or intentional.
Yeah.
Where somebody had to make a decision to jump on a grenade. Somebody had to make a decision where y'all made too much noise and somebody got sniped or some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, what's that perspective like for you?
You know, remember when I talked about how one of my fears was making a mistake and getting somebody else hurt?
Yeah.
That was the big thing for me, the big fear for me, that I have to watch someone else being put in the ground because I made a mistake. You know, my last deployment in 2016, we had a guy who got killed on my last deployment. We just had only one. And we did I forgot the name of it. It's a ceremony you do on the back of a plane when we are in Iraq and before you send the plane in that casket back home. When we take off our trident and put it on the casket, all that stuff. And it just kind of brings you to reality, man. This is a guy you work with. You know, he was there with you. And he gets shot in the chest. You know, freak nature. Got his plate on, it just kind of come through the side and got him, you know. And death to us is so real because when you go out there, you can die. Those letters that we had you guys write, you know, to home, you cannot come home. There's a possibility you may not come home. You know what I mean? You're there for 6-7 months. I mean, we had bombs being just lobbed in, mortar rounds coming in that you don't know where they're gonna land. You know, they tell you to get out of your tent and go run into a barricade, but it's like, if I get out, I may run into the thing. I might as well just stay right here in the tent. So it's like, you're always on edge that the fear of death could be there. I may not see my kids at all. What did I say to them last? Maybe I might speak to my grandmother. You know, those are like my real nucleus. You know what I mean? So I don't really think we were too much worried about fear for us. It was really fear of death for us, but fear of death for someone like you, if you were a part of my team. I wanted you to be able to come home and speak to your family, because in the SEAL team, we know your entire family. We're that close. Have known your kids by now. You know what I mean? I've been met everybody is here right now. We've been close to know each other's families. So my whole job is to make sure I bring you home, because I don't want to go to your family and say, man, Cam didn't come back with us, and then I see your kids, and I'm still there with your kids while you're gone. You know what I mean? So that fear of death is based off of someone else. I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah, damn, that's heavy. So at this part, we got a question of the day. This question is designed to provoke thought. It is designed to really think outside the box for not only just you, but the viewer who sees this as well. The question is, where do you think you would be today if you would have never joined the Navy? But I also have another question to add to that. Knowing what you know now, how or do you feel confident with telling your son or a family member to enter the Navy?
That second part of the question, 100%. I've tried to get my daughter to join. I've tried to get my son to join. I'll tell anybody the Navy is a way, especially if you're looking for a way out. It can give you a lot. I learned a lot, and I needed it. You know what I mean? Coming up from DC to North Carolina, all the drugs and all that stuff, and domestic violence, police, I needed to be in that shoe. So I would definitely recommend anyone, look at the military. Don't listen to what other people say. I mean, now granted, when my grandma pushed me in, and when she talked about it back in the 90s, remember, you know, people, our bloodlines, black people, it wasn't all about trying to go in the military.
Right.
The way we looked at it was like, you're not going into white man's war, you're going to the white man's military. So my family were mad at my grandmother for convincing me to join. Yeah. But grandma did right. It was where I should have been. Yeah. Because I wasn't going to play football. My grades was terrible. Even though I was a senior male athlete of the year, I thought I was top stuff. I was always in the paper, running this long touchdown, catching this interception. I was all over the place, but I never did what I should have did. So I could have probably went through JUCO and went through the process and worked my way up.
For sure.
Because my dream was to be in the NFL. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I was either gonna be a slot guy, punt return, kick return, or a DB. That's how I looked at it. No, I wasn't ready for that. So
take this gun though.
Yeah. And I luckily I found the next best thing to me. Yeah. And it just propelled my life. It helped me grow as a man. Yeah. And I would tell anybody, the military is perfectly fine. You know, my top order, Air Force, Navy, Marine, Army. That's how I would like preach to somebody. If you're gonna go into the Air Force. Right. If you want a little bit more hardness, go in the Army, Marines.
If you didn't have the Navy, what would you have done? Man.
I'm glad I don't know what that would have been, because I feel like I'd probably still be just some regular common folk.
Dang.
You know, I would have been hungry. I'd have been a guy who felt like he missed out on his entire life. Trying to find it probably would have been bounced from job to job to job, and maybe I would have settled at something. Yeah. But my path was definitely drawn into the military.
Say less. So talking about facing fears, We have a game.
Oh, game. I'm all about games. These old knees can handle it.
You know what I'm saying? So obviously this game stems from a lot of fears that I overcame during Special Forces. I'm going to say a series of fears, and you must choose which fear you'd rather do. You ready?
I'm ready.
Lay in a tub full of spiders for 1 minute, or be strapped underwater with weights for 1 minute.
Strapped in the water. Give me that.
You scared of spiders?
That's the worst thing in my life. If there was a spider on this ground right now, I ask you to stop it. Because I'm so scared I'd miss it. It'll get in one of the little crevices under my shoe, and then it just crawl around and crawl up my leg, and I can't get it, and it'll just get into my stuff.
So basically, we giving ammunition to the enemy. Like, y'all just start just throwing spiders at the enemy.
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm ringing the bell.
Game over, bro. Game over. You put me in the water, I'm cool. Let's go. I got this.
What?
Man, I held my breath for 4 minutes one time.
What? 4 minutes?
4 minutes.
Man, you know when we did that submersion challenge, bro, I was so scared. And that's why I was so close with Nathaniel.
Oh.
Right? Nate was like, it's your second breath. So it's like, not your first one. Like, everybody gets like, and then you hold it. He's like, no, you do that, and then the next one is gonna be your best breath. So I'm like, damn, bro, that's a good one, dog. Like, appreciate you, dog. Boom, 16. All right, here you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We went through free diving course, so you got to learn because we do so much diving with rebreathers, so you don't have bubbles. So I can sneak up underneath your pier, and you don't know I'm there. If I'm there to blow up your boat or just to come up on the land and still take you out. So we breathe these rebreathers. But the issue is, if they malfunction underwater, you need to still be able to, troubleshoot it underwater on the breath. So we go through this course where we have to learn how to hold our breath, and a lot of us get up to like 4.5 minutes, and it's something. It's shocking. I passed out on one of the courses, but it's still. And like you said, they ain't let it down. I heard everything for like the past month about, oh, Q was the one who passed out. You weak, you piece of shit. I'm like, oh, damn, I did. Yeah, I did pass out.
4 minutes?
4 minutes.
Well, you can do so much in 4 minutes, boy.
Yeah, you can.
Shit. And breathing ain't one of mine. I can tell you that now. Here we go. Next one. Survive a mission with your feet tied, or survive a mission with your hands tied.
Oh, that's a good one. Hands tied.
Be buried alive, or hang off the side of a 30-story building.
Hang off the side of a 30-story building.
Jump out of a plane, or ride on a roller coaster nonstop for 7 minutes in a row.
Jump out of a plane.
You don't like roller coasters?
They're not that fun. give me the plane. I need more danger. Give me the danger. I need the real danger.
God. Swim in a pool full of electric eels, or swim in a pool full of sharks.
Ooh. Give me the sharks. Electric eels, you touch them, you bump in them, you're done. Sharks, I can manage a shark. I can, as long as I got some fins on my feet, so I can easily swim, because I can't swim like for nothing without fins. But you give me some fins on my feet, I ain't worried about these sharks. I ain't gonna out swim them, but I can deal with them.
Is it true that if you punch a shark in his nose, he gonna run?
They move. You can guide them. Yeah, their nose is very sensitive. But be
it's
careful.
Underwater too,
you put the
so
hand out there slow. You like, and he try, and get it.
I always got this vision of a shark from the movie Finding Nemo. That damn shark was big as shit. Even though it was like a fake ass shark.
He brought up Nemo.
Nemo brought that damn shark. Get him behind that little ass fish. Rawr.
Oh, that part. Yeah, I remember that part now.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, bro. All right. Yeah. Big strong ass talking about Neo. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Be in a room full of tear gas. Oh my God.
Oh.
Be in a room full of tear gas for 1 minute, or walk blindly over nails.
Oh, give me the tear gas. See, I've been through a lot of the tear gas, bro. I've been a lot of the tear gas. The tear gas is no joke.
Boy.
If I had a little bit more time, I'd give you the story about one of my funny tear gas stories. But give me the tear gas. Give me the tear
I'm
gas.
gonna go with the nails, bro. I never want that feeling to happen ever again. And y'all knew y'all was fucking us up, cause, bro, I knew it was gone, cause when I seen Billy, and I was like, bro, he got 2. We only got 1. Oh shit! That was like me and Kyla was looking at it. I said, oh shit, we fucked, cause we were. Oh damn!
I had so much fun laughing at y'all on that one. That
Bro,
was good.
it got me, boy. I was mad. All right. Last one for the game. Would you rather be interrogated by Americans or Russians?
Ooh. I'm gonna follow the Geneva Convention. Let me just say Americans.
Okay. Americans or China?
China's strong, bro. China's got some weird stuff going on over there. So I still say America. Give me America.
America or
I'm,
France?
I gotta say America because I know one we don't interrogate people, bro. I'm following the Geneva Convention. We don't do that thing. So yeah, I'll just stick with America on all of them.
Yeah. Good. Here we go. So for the last part of Funky Friday, we have an inclusive part where we have a question from the crew. Now, the question from the crew can be anybody from the team of Iconic Saga, beautiful team, by the way, and they can either ask me a question or you a question, and we'll go from there. Do we have any questions from the crew?
I have a question. Okay. All right, this is for the both of you. What advice would you give to younger men and women who don't have proper parental guidance but have the desire to become great in life?
Yeah, I try to do as many keynote speaking gigs to high schools and colleges to really get into that space. And what I would tell them is to find an inspiration, right? Find that inspiration that's going to allow you to be willing to never give up. Like, never want to quit, never back away from something, be not afraid to go through the process, because the process to be something successful is going to take you a long period of time. It's going to take some challenges. Be willing to go through those challenges, go through those processes, go through that chaos of it, because you deserve it. You have the power to change your circumstance, even though you may not have been raised in the proper circumstance or life. There's so many of us out there who've changed their situation because of their children inspired them. Whoever raised them, their coaches. I had coaches who still keep in contact with me because they knew the circumstance of me. My grandmother only came to see me play a sport once, and I played football, track, and basketball. But she was an amputee. She was very sick. So the coaches were there to try to play that role for me that was missing. So, find something that can really hold you at bay and just be like, I want this for this. Because if you do it for you, then as soon as you run into a challenge, a little bit of a wall or something that's kind of hard, you're gonna be willing to just run and do something else.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this because that's stupid. You'll find a reason to blame that thing that's not for you instead of just looking inside of yourself and saying, I just wish I need to be better.
Yeah.
I need to work harder. And that's what I think kids need to do nowadays.
I think mine would be, bruh, people are so quick to judge but not hold themselves to that same accountability of their judgment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like in sports, we always, or somebody always say, man, the quarterback, man, the defense, man. Yeah, but what you do?
Yeah.
But what was your role into the loss too? Not just, man, we lost this because, it may have came down to a last play that somebody may have dropped the ball, but football teaches you, sports teaches you that you had just as much time to make plays as the other team or the opposing team. And even really in life, you translate that into everybody is guaranteed the same 24 hours. It's not like Q had 28 hours. It's not like Cam had 12 hours. It's like, yo, what are you doing with your 24 hours?
I love that.
Any more questions for the crew?
Yes. This question is for Q. Q, do you feel as though if you were a participant on Special Forces with Cam, that you would have went as far or longer than he did?
I give it to Q.
Absolutely. If I would have definitely been able to get to the end. And this is why, because I have won. I've already been through something similar, or something really similar, for a longer period of time. And I just kind of I just know I need how to shut off the noise and just engulf myself into the process of it, right? And even though I hated my instructors, I wanted to fight them. I'm sure you probably wanted to fight some of us at that time.
Not really, early on, but we had those moments where okay, Rudy cool. Okay, Foxy, like he a dude that you want to have a drink with. You know what I'm saying? Q is just always and then Billy, even though he always had the older person, he started to kind of his nurturing wasn't you know, the same, but he has some perspective that followed it.
You would love us, brother, together.
Oh yeah, I
all
know.
of us together. I mean, after filming, we all kind of come together at the end. We're all tired, just as tired too. And we all have like some drinks and like sit there and just kind of go over the show and like, man, it's a crazy time. It was long, but it was good. It'd be great if you can hang out with us,
bro.
And we can come to you.
So that last interrogation, and people don't know, like it was a real 24 hours that you was up, right? Yeah. Or like it started around like 5. And then the next time I looked up, it was dark. And then I looked up again, it was light again.
Yeah, it was over 24 hours.
It's like, bro.
Y'all was in it.
We was in it. And I told, man, they kept saying, bro, stop saying what you're not gonna do. Stop saying what you're not gonna do. Cause I told them the first day we got there, Billy had put Golden into the chicken coop.
Yeah, I remember that, yep.
And I was like, bro, I ain't getting in that chicken coop, bro. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Like, that's it. My pride, like, that's a racist thing to me. Like, I was already tired, and I told him every single time, like, every time I passed, I was like, I'm not getting in that chicken coop. And lo and behold, that interrogator came in, that motherfucker came in, rah, rah, like, you don't want to listen? Okay, cool. As soon as they took me outside, I said, first, damn, it's light outside. And then I looked at that coop, I said, God damn, here you go.
Here we go.
It's over with. It is over with. And I quit. I was like, man, it wasn't even about the mental side, because I knew I had what it took. It was just the ego. And I let the ego drive me to saying what I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And knowing what I know now, it was less than 45 minutes until everybody else, they won.
Pretty much done. Yeah.
So I feel like, shit, I won too, damn. Because when I talked to Kayla, I talked to Kayla, she was like, hold on, what time did you finish? I was like, shit, I was in my hotel room like around like X amount of time. And then she was like, I got there like an hour later. It's like, wait, what? And you won? She was like, yeah. It's like, me and Brody won. I said, oh my God, I should have just waited.
It was almost there.
But dog, Billy came in there to took my badge. And I was like, it's it? Like he came and took my badge. He's like, yeah, man, we really loved you, man. And unfortunately, you didn't get it done. So I was like, so I lost. He's like, yeah. Appreciate you. It was nice to get in there. And then boom, it was gone. I was like, damn.
We all talked about you, and we all were actually surprised that you let that go at that point.
For real?
Because your first piece of the interrogation, you're being graded, right? And the grade came back that you were doing good from the lead interrogator.
Yeah.
So we was all like, okay, all right. We could see that you still was struggling dealing with the lady. He's trying to get on you. It was like, ooh, I don't know if he's liking how she's talking to him right now.
Yeah.
But hey, man.
It wasn't bro, it wasn't the chick, bro. Because she was good. Like she was the sauce. Like she was kind of saying, she's like, hey, where you from? Where you did? And I was like, okay, this is not bad at all. Then when the dude came, big dude.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and he was like real close.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Spitting. So I'm like, all right.
That's right.
And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And he was like real kind of like, what do you mean? And I'm like, man, this shit, bro, you're not scaring me, dog. Like, it wasn't that. It was just the chicken coop. It was the chicken coop. It was not the dude. It was not the water being thrown on me. It was just me. From day one, I knew. I was like, bro, I'm not doing it.
That's your thing.
And that was my non-negotiable, bro.
That was the kryptonite.
That was the kryptonite, dog. And I look at it, and it was like, did you get anything because you made it so far? It was like, nah, bro. The money was already made. You know what I'm saying? I found a way to latch on to other people because of this commonality of we trauma bond a little bit. It's like, damn, that shit was fucked up what you did. It's like, fucked up what you did. It's like, damn, give me a hug. And then I found myself saying to Kayla and Kyla, I was like, yo, I'm only here because of you. You quit, I quit.
Yeah.
Type shit. And, you know, me and Golden kind of connected with football. And we had a moment during the show where everybody was like, bro, Golden was irritating you, wasn't he? He was like, yeah, but Golden, there was a moment where his reality of football came out because he knew how to talk to me in a time where it's like, one, what you thinking, bro? And I'm like, man, I just need some more moment. Like that right there, him knowing that's locker room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anybody else, like Brody probably wouldn't have known it. Kerry would have probably not known it. Nate would have not known it because like you gotta be, because when you in that alpha energy thing, you can't be a bitch, can't be a pussy. It's a certain sternness. It's like, hey bro, take your time. But we're not gonna be here all day. All right? You feel what I'm saying? Like tell me what you gotta do or what I need to do, and then we're gonna move on from it. We're gonna leave it right here. And that was kind of the tone that I respected about Golden. And as you're around each other 24/7 and you got the same oatmeal and the same toast and you shelling your eggs and it's like, damn, this shit suck, but at least we got each other type shit, you know what I mean? And those things kind of bring you closer and we still keep in contact to this day, man, so.
That's good, bro.
Appreciate y'all, appreciate Fox. Q, man, and we definitely got to keep building. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that you was an asshole or not an asshole. You know what I mean? But it's all for fun, man. And you made me better.
I appreciate
I want to tell you that. You, Foxy, Rudy, Billy, man, y'all made me better, man. And I appreciate that. I went into the show expecting to get challenged. Y'all exposed my insufficiencies, and now I've been able to implement those things properly in my day-to-day life. So,
appreciate that, bro.
As we end things here, Funky Friday, all right? You gave me instructions, now I'm gonna give you instructions. When I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
All right, we're gonna start right here. We're gonna go one finger, then we're gonna go one pinky, then we're gonna go one thumb, and when I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
Here we go, you ready?
Do it.
Right here, one finger, one pinky, one thumb, all together, one love. Appreciate you, man. DSQ!
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the show, bro.
Appreciate you.
I love you.